this is what's going on with that court case. You remember from 4 weeks ago? Remember how, doesn't that seem like 100? And this was going on with it, and they're saying this. And the Supreme Court said 9-0, but they didn't do it. And, oh, yeah, we really do want Greenland. And now lately, the latest thing, do you have the audio? I think I probably didn't get audio for this. Did I get audio for him? No, I didn't, because I just saw it before I came. Sorry, having this internal conversation in my head.
No, I like this.
Welcome to Eric's brain.
Welcome to my head and how it works. But yeah, I just can't keep up. I can't keep up with all of it. So we're going to have to figure out a way to cover the Trump administration. But the latest thing that he said was this idea that we would send American criminals to El Salvador. And I don't know if he was talking about after a trial, because he didn't mention that there would be trials.
Just send him.
Like, and in this conversation, he answered to a question, he said, well, these criminals here, he always says, like, oh, if you're somebody who, if you hit some 90-year-old in the head with a baseball bat, yeah, what do you think you have some sort of, he says, you're just like the immigrants that I'm sending back from gangs. So what do you think, you have some sort of special status? And as Glenn Greenwald pointed out, is that, well, yes, they do have special status because they were born in the United States of America. So, and that's just one of 375 new things from the Trump administration.
I'm telling you, it's strategic on his part. The reason why he does that is to stay one step ahead of everybody else, because in his first term, when one story would dominate the news cycle, it would bog him down and slow him down.
I get it, but it's getting to the point now where you're starting to make too many promises that aren't, he was going to end the war in Ukraine before he took office.
Yeah.
Putin is now talking about we may have to, put some stuff on near Poland because we think NATO is going to threaten us. So that's the opposite direction of that. Prices are still way too high. And, and just all of these promises that are being made. And when you're doing 100,000 things a day and you're making all of these promises and the things don't, at some point you have to be judged by them. And it tells me that MAGA and Trump voters don't really take his words all that. Like, I guess nobody believed that he would stop the war before he became president. They just liked the fact that he was talking about stopping the war. It's like you have to parse his words. Like one guy's saying, we're going to stay there forever. And one guy's saying, I'll get this war over before I even take office. He takes office. It doesn't happen. Now it's been a few months. We seem to be drifting away from that sort of thing. And it's like, I haven't heard anybody from MAGA stand up and say, hey, why did you lie to us? Because they didn't consider it a lie. And I understand that. There's just the part of Trump that is bluster and always asking for too much so you can make a deal, and you make a deal where you actually really wanted to be because what you gave up is what you never expected to have.
Russia's going to give us their entire eastern seaboard once we have a deal.
What about America running Palestine?
Yeah, that fell off.
Oh,
I know. My goodness. Yeah,
I mean,
go in there and turn it into like a Riviera.
But I mean, whether it's a good idea or a bad idea, in the old days, if a president said something like that, it would dominate the news for like 6 months. But there's so many things, and I guess it's just so nobody really believed that. The same way that nobody really believed that he could end the war before. They just it's a weird thing, because I think that there are some members who follow him. I know a few that are kind of cult-like. But I think the vast majority are not like that, and they just work it in. It's like, he's kind of full of beans in a lot of areas, but it's this weird new thing, directionally correct, meaning you may not be giving us all the real facts. You may be saying some stupid things along the way, but we like the fact that you're thinking about doing that rather than the other thing. And it's kind of odd. I mean, how do you, at what point, all of this stuff, we won't even get into the court stuff, but on the economy, it's like, this is all either going to work or it's not. And this is what I know. If it doesn't work, no one in MAGA will admit that it didn't work. And if it does work, no one on the left or the Democrat Party will admit that it did work. They'll blame something else or come up with something else. So it's a really strange time. And that's why I believe Trae Young threw a fit last night. I think he's just
That's the real truth. That poor guy, he was out there by himself trying to hold things down.
But he was like, my gosh, this news cycle is driving me crazy. Or was it he just realized why I'm on a team that's doing exactly the same thing again? Is that what happened?
I watched the full game last night, Eric. At one point, the Magic were beating us by 22 in the second quarter. We go into halftime. We whittle it down to 14 points. Third quarter, finally cut the game down to 3. Trae Young decides, okay, you guys aren't playing. I'm here. I'm going to carry the team. Brings the Hawks all the way within 3. We get a steal, fast break opportunity, miss a wide open dunk to make it a 1-point game.
Okay, all right.
And then that play was over. The Magic just started whittling it down. And then in the fourth quarter, it's about a 20-point game again, and he just gets frustrated and gets ejected.
Oh, Young goes between Carter's legs and scores it. Wendell Carter knows he's going to be on a highlight, and that's a tee. Yeah, Cole Anthony, what a performance. And now a second technical, and Trae Young snatches the ball from Pat Frail. That's going to cost him some money there. He ball faked him, shot faked him, and Young's been ejected.
So that's how it ended last night.
So he's
Go Hawks.
he's looking to go. Can they get anything for him? He doesn't want to be here anymore. And I don't blame him.
Unless we win Friday. If we win Friday and end up playing the Cavaliers, who I believe the Hawks match up better against than the Celtics. If we won last night, we would have played the Celtics. I think we match up better against the Cavaliers personally. But if we lose on Friday, I don't think he's going to be a Hawk next year.
There's no reason for him to be. They're not going to do anything for him. They
They
it's
never
the same
have.
thing.
As long as he's been here.
They will. An NBA team. I am not an expert on the NBA. I watched it a lot more when I was younger. But it seems to me, in this era, your team needs 2 max superstars.
And Trae was looking
real ones, not ones that you think might be max. Real ones. Then you can fill in the other 3 players on the floor.
Trae was looking for somebody to help him out, too. He was like, can somebody help me out? Because at one point when the Magic
Did you look at the logo on his shirt? No one's going to help you
no
out.
one's going to help him out. He's
Front
like,
office ain't going to help. I can tell you that.
in the third quarter, they had to sit him just for a few minutes just to give him a break. And then within a minute, it went from an 8-point, or excuse me, a 2 or 3 point game to an 8-point game. And so immediately Quinn Snyder put him right back in the game. We ended up making it a 6-point game going into the fourth quarter. But I mean, I just felt so bad for him. And
that's how, even when I was watching, because of Trae Young, I really got into the Hawks for a couple of years. And then I saw what was going on. I'm like, okay, if I'm trying more than the front office is, I like Trae Young. Wherever he goes, I'll root for him to have success. But I was into it for a couple of years, and then I realized that they're just not going to. They're not going to do anything.
They're not going to get the right pieces around him.
They're just not going to do it. They don't. And I'll tell you why they're not going to do it. You want to know why? If you want your Atlanta Hawks to become a real team, and by the way, and Atlanta's like every NBA player's favorite city.
I know.
There's no reason we shouldn't have a powerhouse professional basketball team. If Trae Young gets traded after this season, the only way you're going to get a winning team is if you, the biggest Hawks fan in the world who loves nothing more than a night at State Farm Arena, sit your ass at home for a year. Because they're still breaking records with the NBA as far as
percentage of attendance.
Because it's a good time. It's a fun time. And you're a fan. You want a trophy, and you want to believe that every owner wants it more than you, but what every owner wants is an investment that pays off. So they didn't do anything with Trae Young for all these years, and you're still filling that arena. And here's the news. They don't want the trophy as much as you do. What they want is butts in the seats and concession stands, and if they get parking at all, that's what they want.
And even
that's what they want. So you've got to. I don't call for boycotts very often, but as long as you're filling that stadium, there's no incentive for the front office to do anything other than count your cash. What were you going to say?
Well, even Shaq, who has been the biggest cheerleader for the city of Atlanta, the biggest cheerleader for the Hawks.
He lives here.
During halftime, we were down by 14, and he had this stunt that he pulled off with Harry the Hawk in a box here, which was pretty funny.
I have some bad news.
What?
Can you hand me the box, Chuck?
Oh my goodness. The Hawk. I don't like the looks of this.
This can't be good.
The Hawk is dead.
Oh, not
How
dead.
do
It's
I say goodbye to what we had?
The Hawk's not dead. Can we see the Hawk?
All right.
Then he goes and ends it like this.
We're gonna miss you, Harry.
You think it's still early, man?
He's trying to resuscitate it.
Only down
It
14.
doesn't matter. He's
Oh, this is
dead.
at
The Hawk
halftime.
is dead.
It's only a 14
No, he's dead. Hey,
But,
the Hawk is dead, Chuck.
You got to
Which I
understand.
thought was hilarious.
You
Even as a
gotta-
Hawks fan, I loved it.
The people who, first of all, it's better off to be owned by one than a committee. But the people, and even if you have a committee, these are people who are rich. They're rich for a reason. They know how to make money. They're not stupid when it comes to making money. But look at the guy who owns the Carolina Panthers. The fact that you're smart enough to make a lot of money means that you're good at making money. All right? So it doesn't mean that you understand how to win a national championship or a major league championship at any sport. It just means you're good at making money. And all of these people, what is it, 7 owners?
Well, Tony Ressler's the main owner, but yes, there are about 7 of them.
They all know how to make money. The Atlanta Hawks aren't going anywhere once again. And you know what? Those 7 people are still making money because that's what they're good at. They're not good at bringing home trophies. Just because you can make money, you can make money in oil and this, that, and most of them make money in technology and arbitrage and all this kind of nonsense. You think that makes you know what pieces are needed to win a championship in a sport? No, not at all.
That's what your general manager is for.
Who's the general manager?
I can't tell you.
No idea.
Somebody look it up. George Clark. Who's the GM?
I know that Quinn Snyder has this weird thing where he does better as our head coach with less talent than with real talent. So with the DeJounte
What?
Murray failed team that we had last year.
I guess that's a winning formula.
I know it's strange. It's been kind of it's been consistent with his career as a coach. I don't understand why that is. Like he tends to coach better with less talent, but
Well,
when he
it's
has
probably
talent,
well, there's something more than coaching that comes with these guys who are making, what's the max contract? 175 million or something?
something like that.
So it's different coaching somebody who's that as opposed to somebody who's scrappy and hungry and maybe not as good, but it's going to give you the effort. He's probably, I haven't watched any Hawks games since he's been the coach, so I can't be the one to say this, but it might be that he would be better at a level where you're not dealing with max superstars.
I guess maybe that's the case.
I don't want to talk the guy out of a job or anything. I'm just saying he's probably.
Hey, we still got Friday, too.
Sure, he's a hell of a good guy. I expect he's a hell of a good guy.
We still could win Friday and make the NBA playoffs.
How do you motivate people who have $175 million in their pocket? That's the real question.
It's tough.
And that's coaching at all major levels, But it's different with the NBA, it seems like. I don't know how much. I feel like Shohei Ohtani, is that how you say his name? Mm-hmm. I feel like he loves baseball.
He does.
I think he goes to sleep and he dreams about baseball and he wakes up and he plays baseball. I don't get that feeling necessarily from some of the NBA superstars. Oh, load management. There's a lot of good jokes there. I think.
I know. I just shut that door, put that metal door down over
Some
the.
really good ones.
People have to work hard, okay? That's why you got to have that load management.
Yeah, well, it's ridiculous.
I'll eat a lot of asparagus.
How did Michael Jordan do it? How did he do it? 6 championships. You ever had load management? No, he thought.
cared.
Well, and even more than that, caring for. This is what we don't have anymore. Caring for the customers. Somebody's coming to see the only game that they're going to see that year. I'm the most famous person in this building. Let's put 2 and 2 together. They probably came to see me. So they're going to see me. They're going to see me have a good game or a bad game or a middling game, but they're going to be able to leave saying, I saw Michael Jordan play.
I think people were going last night to watch Georges Niang last night play for the Hawks.
Is that what?
Yeah, Niang. Yeah, he was the guy.
I'm sure he's a good guy. I don't want to talk anybody down. I'm sure everybody's trying to win. In these situations, when it goes on years and years and years and years and years, all I can say is it's usually the front office. No matter what major league team it is, whatever professional team it is, if it's just years and years, Cleveland Browns, all those years the Buffalo Bills were wandering in the wild. It's just the front offices are just terrible. Carolina Panthers right now. Obviously, I know a lot more examples in football than basketball.
Yeah,
because
David Tepper's a bad owner. That's the owner of the Panthers.
Yeah, because he made $20 billion or something because he figured out some way to win in arbitrage and Wall Street. And that makes him think he knows how to put together a front office for a professional team. I don't know, Hawks. All I know is if they end up not winning and they're done, and Trey goes, the only way you're going to get a winning team is if you sit on your ass for a year and refuse to buy tickets.
Storm season is bearing down on us, and that means power outage season is here too. Dave Baker here for Brightbox Electrical. Being stuck in a dark, hot home as storms start to fire up is no fun. That's why my friends at Brightbox Electrical, a Coolray company, are now offering $500 off a Generac home standby generator, and if you purchase now, you'll receive a 2-year maintenance and monitoring plan for free. So don't be left in the dark or the heat. Visit brightboxelectrical.com to schedule your appointment.
Whoa. With the Cubs getting older, we need more space, so we're on the hunt for a new house. Our must-haves, a big yard for the Cubs and Scana Energy for natural gas. It won't be easy to choose the perfect house, but Scana has tons of options that'll make it easy to find the perfect natural gas plan. The sooner we find a place, the better. For a limited time, receive a $60 bill credit when you sign up. Call 1-877-GO-SCANA or visit scanaenergy.com/mover60. Limited time offer, additional terms and conditions apply.
Storm season officially here, friends, and it wreaks havoc on your house and your roof. It's Mark Aram here. If you truly want peace of mind about your roof, and for many years to come, ask Dr. Roof about their lifetime warranty. Dr. Roof's warranty means they have your roof covered for the lifetime of your roof, and if anything comes up, Dr. Roof will take care of it. You never have to worry about a thing. They stand behind it since they've been in business for over 35 years. Now that is peace of mind. All the info online at drroof.com.
This is Anthony George, the pastor of First Baptist Church of Atlanta. Our church has celebrated Easter Sunday in Atlanta for over 175 years, but you could make this year our best Easter yet. Whether you've never been to church or it's been a while since you went to church, why not give it a try this Easter Sunday? For more information, visit the website for First Baptist Atlanta. That's fba.org. We hope to see you there.
Hey y'all, Belinda Skelton for Four Seasons Home Care, and I'm not going to cry in this commercial, I hope. As many of you know, I lost both my parents recently, but I am so thankful they were able to finish their lives at home where they wanted to be. It's all because of the incredible caregivers who came to see them every day. I am so grateful to Four Seasons Home Care. This is a real family-owned company that vets and hires every single one of their caregiving specialists. They don't have contractors. They're not some national corporation. They are simply the best here in Georgia. And a lot of you have asked me about my journey and if home care is right for your aging parents. I'll tell you what I tell them. Call Four Seasons Home Care and just start the conversation. It's a 100% free call that can change everything. Google Four Seasons Home Care Atlanta. That's Four Seasons Home Care Atlanta.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather, traffic. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
At 3:30, I'm Bill Caiaccio. News sponsored by Vincent Financial. Our top local story, it's happening now. Lawmakers and community advocates will call for changes to the Georgia State Patrol's pursuit policy after a fatal crash caused by a chase in Little Five Points.
It happened earlier this week as a state trooper chased a driver down Moreland Avenue. That driver went through a red light during the chase, hitting and killing an innocent 19-year-old from DeKalb County. The National Police Accountability Project says it believes this is just the latest in a pattern of tragic crashes caused by pursuits. They're calling for an end to high-speed chases, but also want restrictions like requiring approval from a supervisor before starting a pursuit. They're meeting today at the site of this week's accident. Austin Eller, 95.5 WSB.
WSB Money Update. It is a brutal day for stocks after the chairman of the Federal Reserve says he expects inflation to rise and economic growth to slow due to tariffs. Right now, the Dow is down 947 points. The S&P is down more than 3% for the day, and the NASDAQ is down close to 4.5%. New tariffs on Chinese imports are starting to impact Georgia businesses. Chris Clark, president of the Georgia Chamber of Commerce, says businesses are having a hard time keeping up with all of the changes.
There's a little bit of whiplash going on. Businesses like stability. We like to know what the rules are. We'll abide by those rules, but give us time to ramp up.
Clark says small businesses in Georgia should speak with their banks to try to secure funding to allow them to stockpile goods or absorb some of the higher costs before passing them on to consumers. The American Cancer Cancer Society launches a new pilot program to offer more support to cancer patients and their caregivers in Metro Atlanta.
Through ACS Empower, our new program, we're offering classes led by people with expertise to help everyone access important information during treatment.
The program's Babs Williams says it's free and open to anyone in the metro area who's going through cancer, as well as caregivers and family members. It is 3:32. Time for live team coverage of traffic and weather. In the 24-hour traffic center, it's Alex Williams.
Big jam out of northeast Atlanta up into Brookhaven. WSB's own Mark Aram says this crash is in 2 left lanes, 85 northbound, just past Claremont Road, exit 91. You're stacked up all the way back to 400. Think about Buford Highway as an alternate. Southbound delays in full swing into Midtown and downtown from the 85-400 merge down to I-20. That northbound stall that was at I-20, they moved that off to the right. And we've got a stall. Police just pulled up to this one. It's in the center lane down by the airport. 285 westbound, the Interloop Riverdale Road, exit 60. Delays back to I-75. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Mostly sunny today, high 71, lows tonight in the mid-40s. Tomorrow, sunshine, high 76, heating up to the mid-80s on Friday under a sunny sky.
71, sunshine in Suwanee, 72 in Riverdale, and 69 in Powder Springs. More news at 4 o'clock. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Bill Caiaccio, 95.5 WSB.
Dave Baker here for Artisan Custom Closets. Spring cleaning? Not a fan. However, ever since I had Artisan Custom Closets help me redesign my bedroom closet, spring cleaning has gotten a whole lot easier. See, Artisan helped me to design an affordable, luxurious closet system tailored to my needs. Every project they do is installed by an Artisan professional, generally in under a day. Schedule your free design consultation with the master designer at artisancustomclosets.com. P.S. They did my garage too. I love it.
Avoid the stress of preparing to sell your home. With a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate, you can skip the hassle of spring cleaning and sell your home for maximum value. Hi, this is Mark Spain, and our offers are the strongest in the industry. With a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate, you can sell your home stress-free, make the most money, and move when you're ready. There are no showings, no open houses, and no stress. Trust the top real estate team in the U.S. and find out what your guaranteed offer would be. There's no obligation. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today. That's markspain.com and start packing.
This is Window Nation, your source for affordable replacement windows at the highest quality. So if you've got old, drafty, sticking, or leaking windows, you need the experienced pros at Window Nation. You can pay a lot less and still get the premium windows you're dreaming of. Their custom windows are guaranteed to be a perfect fit, and they're backed by the best warranty in the industry. Go to getwindownation.com for your free estimate. And for a limited time, buy 4 windows, get 4 free, plus no interest for 2 years.
At CertaPro Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder, or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter, or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights. We can reawaken any space to make your happy place your home. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
So yeah, we'll do a Trump thumbs up, thumbs down later and cover that. But I just have to let the audience know I'm unique here. I think because like yesterday, you know, now they're doing the town halls, and then people are getting tased, and then Trump the next day says, "Yeah, I think Americans should be sent to El Salvador." I just have to say this: I find all of this political back and forth to be boring. It comes off as performance art to me. And I'm not a huge fan of performance art. There are a few people. But it's like performance art to me. And when it comes to performance art, this is what I'll say. Andy Kaufman, yes. AOC and MTG, no. I'm not interested in your performance art. It's all performative. It's performative on the part of the politicians. Somebody asked Marjorie Taylor Greene, is there anything that you disagree with Trump on? 100% I agree on everything. Boy, you know what?
I love him.
You do. 100%. There's not one single thing that you disagree. You know, objectively speaking.
I don't. Name one.
Well,
exactly.
You would have to name it because you would. You
well, I just told you.
I would like to send her to a prison in El Salvador.
Hey, that's maybe I would come out a stronger person.
Maybe you'd come out with better equipment.
She's always dithering when she speaks. Lag.
So it's all, to me, that's the way that I see it. The people who are protesting very loudly at the town hall meetings, to me, is performance. Marjorie Taylor Greene saying that she agrees with 100%. You might as well ask her, hey, do you agree with that thing that Trump's going to say next Wednesday at 2? Absolutely. Okay, objectively speaking, not out of politics, I just wanted to throw in there that most people who understand cults would throw that out there is usually you have, oh no, he's 100% correct. So to me, it's performance art. And if performance art is a kind of entertainment, if you're entertained, fine. But as I said before, all this stuff is either going to work or it's not. And if it does work, the Dems will never admit it. And if it doesn't work, MAGA will never admit it. And it's just going to keep rolling and rolling and rolling and rolling. So have your fun. That's all I can say. We're just going to do every day Trump, thumbs up, thumbs down, go through everything that happened. I'll give you a little mini point as to why I think what I think, and then we'll move on. Because tomorrow there's going to be 119 other things. And it is exhausting.
You're breaking his strategy over there. He doesn't like that. Trump doesn't like that.
I don't mind. I love chaos. Sooner.
That's what it is.
It's all chaos.
That's
thumbs
what it
up. I
is.
think everything will probably get a thumbs up.
And so later on,
I really feel
well,
I really
yes.
feel like there's a big draw to Trump because he does seem to be sort of honest with who he is.
Yes.
You know, and there's such a lack of that everywhere in politics. So it's like, even if he's like saying something you're like, oh, that seems like a little, you're acting kind of hate or whatever. It's still, at least he's being honest. At least he's being 100% himself.
That's what works for him. That's why it doesn't work when Democrats come after him as if he's hiding something. And they always do that. Oh, he's hiding something. He's telling you one thing. He's like, one thing about this guy is he doesn't have a filter.
I took a huge dump this morning.
Yes.
Presidential.
He is the most transparent president in the history of this country. And
He
so
doesn't mind being wrong. Like, not
Right.
to say like maybe he is wrong or maybe he's not. I don't know, but he just doesn't mind saying whatever,
Yeah.
even if it might be wrong.
No, and all of it seems to be kind of a blustery strategy to throw you off of your game.
I have to say, it was the biggest dump in presidential history. The last one was Taft.
Taft.
I got him beat.
We'll get some phone calls over that one. That's
Oh,
all right.
Taft? A
That's
lot
all
of
right.
Taft fans?
Von Hessler Doctrine is going to make MAGA people laugh at Trump from time to time, or I haven't done my job.
How dare you insult President Taft?
Well, look, he was so fat he got stuck in a bathtub. That never happened to me.
No, it has not. Because you probably don't take baths. How many presidents even take baths?
Well,
I think Biden strikes me as a
Biden
bad
got
guy.
bathed, okay? Like the sponge bath.
Oh, yeah, they say Biden was back on the political stage yesterday.
Oh, did he give the speech last night? I knew it was coming.
I didn't see it, but this is what I imagined. I'm back.
Well,
Where am I?
When he was getting introduced, there was a moment where he didn't let the music fade out, so he starts talking and you can't hear him. Listen to this.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, my
You're talking. He's still going.
Thank you.
Social Security. Why is this even a thing? He's 150. He's not president anymore. Why is he going to be the answer for the Democrats?
Still the only guy they got.
They're going to well, they got Bernie and AOC out there.
I'm not going to do anything. I'm here for the
What
fun.
you know what they need? They need like a boring Midwestern governor.
They don't have that.
Don't they?
Tim Walz.
Yeah, well, not that boring.
Tampon Tim.
What was the song they were playing behind Biden?
Probably. Well,
tell what it was?
Democrats love America too. Don't the Republicans make you think that only Republicans love America? We got macho singers who sing about America who vote Democrat too. Is that what it was? Thank you. Wait a minute, is this Springsteen?
From a shotgun shack to the Superdome?
From a
Is that
shotgun
what he said?
shack to the Superdome?
I gotta look it up.
Sounds a little bit like Springsteen. Sounded a little bit like Springsteen.
It did sound like him saying Americana stuff.
I did. Hey, you know me.
I can't
I'm
find
like a
it.
guy on Mount Rushmore.
Park benches dedicated to ladies who died.
That's what I think that. That's what America's all about.
Hot dogs and baseball and 401ks.
Springsteen's new record. Oh yeah, by the way, we forgot to tell you, we love America too. Bruce Springsteen. I don't know why. When he speaks, I just feel like it's like one of those faces on Mount Rushmore actually speaking. Like his head
Stony?
Yeah.
Stony faced? It's because he is old, but he has stopped aging in some sort of weird way.
No,
because
but
he got like real muscular.
Yeah, well, I mean, he hits the gym, but he always spoke that way. I mean, he's old now, but I mean, he has always had that.
He has a Roblox face now. He's got like a big square face.
Yeah.
It is a Bruce Springsteen song. It just doesn't say what one it is.
Oh, Roblox, they're in trouble, man. They apparently
Are
own
they?
it.
What are
pornography
Roblox?
for children. I was reading an article.
Are they
about
like Legos or is it a video game?
It's a video
No,
game.
Roblox.
What
it's
is
like
it?
it's like a place where you can play lots of games as your Roblox character, and a lot of the games are seem to be like user generated. Because I played one called Feed the Rich.
Yeah.
And it was just this person, your Roblox character, rummaging through trash and then making food out of it, and then you would like move up in this restaurant.
Hold on. You forage even when you play video games?
I guess I do. Yeah.
Wow. For those who don't know, Autumn she likes to forage. She goes through the neighborhood, people's yards, picks up things, makes tea with it. I don't know what she does.
You can find medicine in the ground.
Do your kids play this Roblox?
They've kind of eased out of it, but yeah, they still sometimes play
Well,
it.
you gotta be careful because
what is this?
Well, because there's a live stream. There's an element where you play against other people.
Yeah,
and,
you're usually in a server with lots and lots of different.
Yeah, and
people.
there's like chats and stuff like that. And apparently, there's been a lot of complaints for years about like older men grooming, and even worse than that. You can actually show pornography and things like that in some level or area of it. And apparently Roblox keeps on going, yeah, we're doing what we can, but it just keeps getting worse and worse. Now, overall, is it 50% of what's going on there? I'm sure it isn't. It's probably 1 or 2%, but that's still a lot. And there's a lot of kids. There's a lot of kids playing it. And so at this point, a lot of parents are like, okay, we're tired of Roblox's words. We'd like to see something happen here so that, but here's the deal. It's a transactional society, don't you know it? We're built on pornography and lies.
As we found out yesterday.
That's the culture of America. So the people who run Roblox want that money. They're not going to do anything. They're not going to do anything that doesn't stop that money. Or does stop that money.
It's the same with the VR headsets. You're playing with lots of different people. You're playing Gorilla Tag, and you could be in there with my 8-year-old or a 40-year-old.
Right. Hey, how you doing, kids?
Yeah.
Hey,
There's a
tag,
lot of
you're
that.
it. Gorilla Tag time.
Apparently, there's a lot of that going on. Now, I mean, is it overblown?
Well, I hear
read
Pete
it.
talking to people, and I'm like, hey, who's that? Don't talk to them.
Yeah,
Don't tell them
why?
your birthday.
That creeps me out. Your birthday. And stop telling people your address.
I want a present.
Yeah, exactly.
Mom,
ASL.
Can you drop me off at the Motel 6?
Mom, what's the last 4 digits of your social security number?
I need a load.
I mean, it's maybe Roblox is doing everything they can. Maybe they're not.
Odds are they're not.
Odds are they're like, well, sir, if we did that, we'd probably lose this revenue over here. Well, whatever you do, don't do that.
You know what? I think that they do have like a little tutorial when you first start, like when you register, about how to chat and what's appropriate in chat and what if you're hearing things like don't do this, don't do that. So, but that's it.
But that's just adults talking to kids, and kids blow that off.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I don't know how effective that is. There have to be actual. I don't know. It doesn't matter because this entire country is built on pornography and lies. Let's just accept it.
Hey, Taxman got you down?
How about a $1,000 pickup?
Win $1,000. 5 different keywords. 5 chances every weekday.
I just won $1,000 on WSB.
The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz.
Beginning Monday, April 21st.
Download the WSB app. Rules and info at WSBradio.com/cash.
Imagine selling your home and getting paid not just once, but twice. It's possible with Orchard. Hey, it's Eric Von Hessler. Orchard puts cash right into your pocket. That lets you snag your dream home now. While you're settling in, Orchard experts are hard at work preparing and marketing your old home, taking care of repairs, showings, even adding price-boosting upgrades. Why choose Orchard? Because when your home sells for more, like it does 9 times out of 10, you get that extra cash too. It's like getting paid twice. Orchard unlocks cash from your old home for your new one. That's payday number one. You buy your new place, and Orchard sells your old home for top dollar. Boom. Payday number two. Ready to make it happen? Start with your free home valuation at orchard.com or call 1-844-421-SELL. That's 1-844-421-SELL. 1-844-421-SELL.
As Georgia's homegrown leader in business insurance, Builders partners with thousands of local businesses to safeguard workers and help them return to their lives after injuries. Explore reliable workers' compensation solutions at BLDRS.com. Builders, insurance built strong.
Visit my friends at Tara Fine Jewelry Company in Beaufort. This is Scott Slade. They specialize in exquisite handcrafted fine jewelry and natural mined diamonds, never mass-produced. It's where I've been doing business for over 25 years. Tara Fine Jewelry Company in Beaufort.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end. The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
Chocolate lovers are going absolutely bananas over our new Bluebell Banana Fudge. Rich milk chocolate ice cream swirled with a scrumptious banana-flavored ice cream. Your favorite banana fudge bar, now in a carton.
The good old days are being made right now. The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell ice cream at all Kroger stores.
Spring storms can produce flash flooding with heavy rain flowing around your house and into your crawl space. And rainwater trapped in there will provide the perfect breeding ground for mold. Hey, this is Christina Epwords. Mold not only produces that stale, musty smell, but it can also impact the air quality in your home. But call my friends at American Crawl Space Solutions. They will encapsulate your crawl space, keeping it dry and preventing mold from forming. AmericanCrawlSpaceSolutions.com, your best value for crawl space repair.
American Crawl Space Solutions, foundations too.
I met my wife in law school at the University of Florida. She was from upstate New York and I was from Kentucky. We met at a daily mass at St. Augustine's. She was the most beautiful girl I'd ever seen in my life. After communion, I followed her out of the church and got her phone number. The rest is history. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Little did we know that one day we would have 4 children and the largest injury firm in the world. All 4 work in the business. It's a family business. Did I ever see this coming? Hell no. We just worked very hard and treated our clients like we would want to be treated, like family. It's a full-service injury firm, auto accidents, medical malpractice, workers' compensation, Social Security, and insurance disputes. We're open 24/7, 365 days a year. Visit forthepeople.com and we can get to work on your case. No recovery, no fee. Morgan & Morgan, for the people. Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
All right, let me get this little thing off. This little chestnut off my chest. Does that work? Am I in? You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him breathe. Am I mixing my metaphors there? So what's driving me crazy lately is when I'm reading stories and they just throw into the story that this was debunked. You know, he's reading about Trump, he's reading about RFK Jr. and the vaccines and all. And then just like in the middle of the story, they just throw in debunked ideas.
Is that editorializing?
Yeah, well, but more even, I think it is if you don't give us the source. How? Who? What is the process? What is the method? Because in these stories, they just drop it like 2 + 2 = 4, debunked ideas. Is there a department of debunkery? Like, what happened? Here's an example. This is in the middle of a thing about, the war in Ukraine. And I think it was AP. I'm not sure. Trump, who says he wants to be remembered as a peacemaker, has repeatedly said he wants to end the bloodbath of the 3-year war in Ukraine, which his administration now cast as a proxy conflict between the United States and Russia, echoing Moscow's stance. Now, that's not a debunk one, but Let's go with that. I meant to read something else, but let's go with this. It's the same thing. It's throwing stuff in there that says, well, this is just a known thing. His administration now cast as a proxy conflict the Ukraine-Russia, as a proxy conflict between the United States and Russia, echoing Moscow's stance. I didn't know that people disagreed with this concept. Are you telling me that there are people who believe that this isn't a proxy war between the United States and Russia? And could somebody show up and tell me how it's not? Are there people who believe that if the United States wasn't involved, that Ukraine would still be that wouldn't be over in 2 months? That would be a war between Ukraine and Russia.
And Ukraine would lose.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it wouldn't even be close. And so this is just like the debunking thing. Oh, echoing Moscow's stance. Are the people who run our military under the delusion that this is not a proxy war between the United States and Russia? If it's not, I'd like somebody to tell me what the hell it is. We're just helping out a friend? It doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, if it came from the Associated Press here, you should know they have a new slogan. The Associated Press, advancing the power of facts.
Oh, right. Well, but what they call facts. I wish I could find this debunked thing. I'm sorry. I let people down with that one. Oh, here it is. No, damn it. Well, never mind. I'm doing too much prep for the show. I got so much damn prep, I can't even keep it straight. But where does it come from? When you're reading in a story, and just in the middle of the story, like the RFK Jr. stuff, say vaccines, and these debunked ideas, am I wrong? The reporter has the responsibility to tell you why. How? Even if it's a footnote, even if it's an asterisk, and you go down to the bottom of the story and it tells you the methods and the process, this idea, who officially decides that something's been debunked?
In basic reporting, Eric, they teach you always in an article to give the who, what, when, where, why, how.
How, right.
All the time.
There's
and
no
your
how.
opinion.
And it's a weird, it's a
Yeah,
weird
nowadays.
thing where the media spends more time saying, well, if this has been debunked, take any idea. This has been debunked. So anybody who asks a question about this is a moron. It's been debunked. I mean, we have to be suspicious of you as any kind of political thinker. Why are you asking that question? It's been debunked. But they never tell you who debunked it, how it was debunked, what was the process, what was the method.
Pfizer told us it was debunked.
I guess.
And they spend a lot of money on our channel.
They sure do. And they know. They're pros.
They're good people.
So they would know.
They care for us.
Well, I'm rebunking it.
They're doing it. Yeah, the RFK Jr. vaccine. Why does the media, why do they not want more study on it? How do we get hurt? How do we get hurt if we study something more? Apparently, we have a lot more autism than we used to. RFK Jr., I believe he still subscribes to this vaccine idea. I have not seen enough evidence to subscribe to that myself. But why is it so offensive to people that we look into it? Isn't that what our leaders are supposed to do?
Because it's been debunked, sir.
By whom?
I don't know, but it's been debunked. And you need to know that.
In RFK,
and why are people on the left suddenly upset when you go after Big Pharma? What the hell happened?
Yeah, no doubt.
What in the hell happened? Trump.
And even RFK Jr. is extremely specific as to where the origin of autism came from. He actually mentions it here.
Within 3 weeks, and probably we're hoping in 2 weeks, we're going to announce a series of new studies to identify precisely what the environmental toxins are that are causing it. This has not been done before. And we're going to do it in a thorough and comprehensive way, and we're going to get back to with an answer to the American people very, very quickly.
So what's wrong
That's
with
bad.
that? Why is that? I don't understand the anger. And why is the media always telling us, don't be stupid? I grew up in a country where I was told there's no such thing as a stupid question. This was pounded into our heads. You have to ask questions in order to learn. And there are so many of these areas that the media is just like, only a moron would ask that question. That's been debunked. By whom? Somebody. The Department of Debunkery.
When I think of the word deck, I think of a lot of things. It could be a deck, or a screened-in porch, a Four Seasons room, even an outdoor patio. To me, those are all decks. Dave Baker here for Ben Hill Renovations. If you want to upgrade your current deck or add a new deck to your outdoor living space, you need my friends at Ben Hill Renovations. See, Ben Hill Renovations has been building decks for over 60 years. They're experts at creating decks of all shapes and sizes. They're deck experts. Dexperts, if you will. With deck season right around the corner, now is the time to put your deck dreams into motion. Contact Ben Hill Renovations today and have your deck ready for entertaining this spring and summer. Ben Hill Renovations offers multiple financing options, up to 18 months no interest, and affordable monthly payments with approved credit. Schedule a free at-home design consultation today at bhrenovations.com. Ben Hill Renovations, creating raving fans since 1964. bhrenovations.com.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-478-6688. That's 1-800-478-6688. Or go to SelectQuote.com. 1-800-478-6688. That's 1-800-478-6688.
SelectQuote. We shop. You save. Full details on example policies at selectquote.com/commercials.
Belinda here for Atlanta Vision Institute. I'm here to introduce you to a new procedure that Dr. Ashraf is performing called laser optics. This changed my life, folks. I was so tired of wearing contacts and glasses. The glasses were not around when I needed them. I had astigmatism, so the contacts didn't fit me well, and I had beginning stages of cataracts. So I went in. I was a great candidate for laser optics. It was a quick, painless procedure. The next day, it was like everything was in HD. The colors were more vibrant. The leaves were more vibrant. The sky was more vibrant. My husband was better looking. Everything was great. Laser optics with Dr. Ashraf, Atlanta Vision Institute. Go to the website 2020atlanta.com to find out more information. Also, take the quiz to see if this is a procedure that's good for you. Your medical insurance may cover it. That's 2020atlanta.com.
WSB Atlanta, WSBB FM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's news and talk.
News, weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's news and talk.
At 4 o'clock, I'm Bill Caiaccio. News is sponsored by QC Kinetics. Our top story, it is a WSB Money update. Stocks crater after the latest comments from Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell.
The level of tariff increases announced so far is significantly larger than anticipated, and the same is likely to be true of the economic effects, which will include higher inflation and slower growth.
At the closing bell on Wall Street, the Dow is down more than 900 points. The Nasdaq is down more than 4%, and the S&P is down close to 3%. Georgia businesses are feeling the impact of tariffs and trying to make adjustments.
The first to feel the pressure of increased costs, Georgia's small businesses. Chris Clark with the Georgia Chamber of Commerce says the Chinese tariffs alone are driving up costs.
We've heard consistently from primarily retailers that the cost of supplies from their China distributors are creating disruptions for them and potential impacts on their revenue flows.
They're encouraging large businesses to stockpile goods up to 3 months. He says small businesses should start looking at their options for capital to see if they can do the same. Austin Eller, 95.5 WSB.
71 degrees in Atlanta. Sun rules the next couple of days when we could reach the mid-80s. Meteorologist Christina Edwards has Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast coming up. A call today for immediate changes to the Georgia State Patrol's policy on high-speed chases.
Chases should not happen. Chases are not
safe.
Atlanta City Council member Liliana Bakhtiari speaking moments ago from a busy intersection in Little Five Points where a 19-year-old bystander was killed earlier this week. His vehicle was in the path of a chase at the intersection of Moreland and McClendon Avenues. An employee with the Cobb County Sheriff's Office is arrested and fired after he's accused of molesting a little girl.
The suspect was a criminal justice specialist for the Sheriff's Department, where he had been employed since 2000.
44-year-old Ivan Soto Muniz is now booked in and being housed in the Cobb County Adult Detention Center without bond.
Chuck McPhillamy with Marietta Police says Munoz is charged with 2 counts of aggravated child molestation. He says Munoz was a family friend of the 8-year-old female victim in this case. She came forward to share her story with leaders at her church. That prompted the swift investigation and arrest. Graham Carroll, 95.5 WSB.
Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is calling autism an epidemic. He's announcing new studies looking into possible environmental factors, and we're hearing today from those most impacted by the disorder. Here's a report all new at 4 o'clock.
Andrew Anderson's son was diagnosed with autism.
We already knew, but to hear it, it's still, there was a pit in your stomach.
Now to hear that new studies are being launched to learn more about autism, Anderson says he's optimistic.
I'm always optimistic for the future, but at least for the resources that could come out of this, if any.
He also says if nothing else, the studies will help increase awareness about autism. Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
A federal judge finds cause to hold Trump administration officials in criminal contempt for ignoring orders on deportation flights to El Salvador. CBS News Justice Department reporter Jake Rosen has insight on this ruling.
Because the government did not answer and listen to Judge James Boasberg's orders to turn those planes around while they were in midair, arguing that Boasberg had no authority to order those planes around and that the planes were outside of U.S. airspace. He says in a court opinion just filed right now that the government has likely committed contempt of court.
The White House says it plans to appeal. Atlanta's Morris Brown College marks a milestone today, hosting its first honors convocation in more than 2 decades. The school's president, Dr. Kevin James, says it's a significant moment in the school's turnaround since Morris Brown regained its accreditation 3 years ago.
My goal as the president is that we're affordable for students. We have, again, the most affordable tuition in Atlanta, in the Atlanta University Center. And again, we are doing a great job attracting students.
More than 100 students with GPAs above 3.0 are receiving honors awards. Google is pushing a security update to Android phones that will automatically reboot the phone if it's locked for 3 straight days. Apple rolled it out last year. The idea is by encrypting data that can only be accessed through a user's passcode, it'll make it more difficult for someone to get into a phone using a forensic analysis device. It is now 4:04. The Von Hessler Doctrine continues in less than 2 minutes. Right now, live team coverage of traffic and weather, and Triple Team Traffic begins with Alex Williams.
Throwing up the travel advisory for our commuters out of Midtown, Northeast Atlanta. Heading up to Brookhaven, this crash 85 northbound north of Claremont Road, exit 91, still in 2 left lanes, and that has cooked the ride back from the 85-400 split. I would go ahead and think about using a Buford Highway as your alternate if you're already stuck in it. Hop off at North Druid Hills. You can use the access road also to avoid that. Southbound through town, already looking at a half hour out of Buckhead where the jam starts at Lenox Road for the ride down to I-20 northbound slows University Avenue up past Freedom Parkway. We also have a travel advisory on I-75 in Cobb County. Kobe Dawkins.
Yeah, 75 southbound before Windy Hill Road, exit 260. That crash is knocking out 2 left lanes, seeing tough delays back to North Marietta Parkway. Use Cobb Parkway. That's Highway 41 as an alternate. From the Cool Ray Carrier Traffic Center, Triple Team Traffic, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Clear and cool for tonight as temperatures fall into the mid-40s. Tomorrow, sunshine, high 76. Heating up on Friday with a mostly sunny sky. Morning low 52, afternoon high 84.
It's 72 in Tucker, 70 in Douglasville, and 71 in Stockbridge. More news at 4:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Bill Caiaccio, 95.5 WSB.
Hour 2 of the Von Hessler Doctrine begins right now. Where's Wesley?
Should be coming in any second.
All
He was
right.
talking about how Jerome Powell's been on fire
That's
today.
why I want to talk to him. You know, the Dow's gone down 700 points since Jerome Powell gave this statement. Basically, what he said was the American people, the public, is going to have to pay part of these tariffs. And then the Dow goes down 700 points. It's like, did anybody, how is that news to anybody? Like, obviously. do you understand what tariffs are? Do you understand how they work? The only way this works is if Trump is using tariffs for some other purpose. It is not possible economically for tariffs to not ultimately hurt everybody. The idea with Trump is he's throwing them out there as a way to get other countries to come make deals with us so that we get sweeter deals. But boy, these geniuses on Wall Street, this is news to them?
I bet
that the
it's-
American people, or is it just like, well, we trade on perception, and when he said it, then the perception went.
I've got Jerome Powell saying this
you
here.
say that, Wes Moss. Let's get these headphones on. I got questions.
All right, here's Jerome Powell.
Tariffs are highly likely to generate at least a temporary rise in inflation. The inflationary effects could also be more persistent. Avoiding that outcome will depend on the size of the effects, on how long it takes for them to pass through fully to prices, and ultimately on keeping longer-term inflation expectations well anchored.
But there's another part where he actually said the public is going to pay for some of these tariffs. Now, Wes Moss.
Of course.
That's my point.
Of course.
Why does the Dow go down 700 points? No one who's trading on Wall Street had thought of this yet? What? Or is it like when you were walking in, I was saying, is it, oh, now the perception, and so the perception is the reality, and that's what we have to respond to? This was not news to any Wall Street professional, yet it goes down 700 points. Can you explain that to me? I don't understand.
Yeah, it was. I would say that what was really interesting to me, and the reason the market reacted so, let's call it.
It was immediate, right?
Yeah, it was. So I'm sitting there. Actually, I typically would not watch Powell, but
why? He's so fascinating. He's such a great
I do like the
great guy to
No,
have
I
a
think
beer
he's
with.
cool. No, I think he's cool. But it was so much of this was his tone, and his tone. I don't know if he was goading the administration, but he made it really clear that look, you. In fact, here's one of the things that summarizes this. He says, things are pretty good in 2024. GDP was almost 2.5%. Inflation had come down to about 2.5%. Things are looking pretty good. He goes, now I don't know where we are. He said we don't have clarity, but he also didn't say we're here to help.
Right.
And that's where the market freaked out a little bit.
Okay,
he was, I guess you could call this in Fed terms, hawkish. And he was almost goading the administration, saying, look, there's nothing we can do.
And they can't.
They can, but
it wouldn't be appropriate.
He essentially said, I'm not doing anything right now. We're not here to help. We're not lowering rates because you want us to lower rates.
Yeah.
Because we are stuck between a rock and a hard place. And there are two things that they can do. Well, there's a couple, there's a kind of a toolkit, but their main tool is lowering rates. And we can't lower rates unless the unemployment rate goes down, but I think that'll happen. But then if the goes up, if unemployment gets worse, but at the same time, we're going to have inflation because we have a new tax with tariffs, then we can't lower rates when inflation's going up. That's the opposite. So they essentially put the ball back in the court to the administration and said, look, you guys got to figure this out. You have to get us some clarity before we're even going to say we're going to do anything.
And I completely agree with
it. It was all.
I agree with that. I would say, because the Fed, and maybe a lot of people believe that we shouldn't even have one, but we do have one. And the Fed, their job is to react to genuine market forces. Something happens over here. Something happens. This country's in depression. Now we got to. Genuine market forces. What's happening now is not a market force. It's happening because the president, who was elected by a plurality of the people, chose to do these things on his own, not as a reaction to the actual economy. And maybe if it works, it'll be brilliant. But the idea is that if it doesn't work, it's an unforced error by politicians. It's not a result of the invisible hand of the economy.
It's also much more than they expected. He brought that up today. He said the tariff rates are something that we've never seen. And he even went back to the Smoot-Hawley thing in the 1930s and said, these are far beyond that. And that was 95 years ago. So he said that, I don't know if that counts anyway. But he said that the tariff rates are much more than we have even modeled out in our worst case scenario. That's what he said. Here's how. This is the quote that this is how I would summarize what he said today in one sentence. Hey, Washington D.C., and he said it with a tone, and I think a lot of today was about his tone. It was almost he was somewhat of a rascal.
Okay.
He was a little bit of a. He was
he coy? Was he?
He's a little coy,
Right.
little smirky, little rascally today, and that I think was more important than even what he said. But I summarize it as this. Well, hey, Washington, D.C., you are creating a mess. At least get it over with so then we can step in and help.
When we're dealing with the actual
Then we
forces
can
of
deal
nature
with
of the
fallout.
economy.
Then we can sit.
Right.
Now, we don't know how to help until we see what the tariffs
we don't-
actually are.
And you don't know what the tariff's going to be next week. I mean,
Correct.
it might be doubled next week. It might be, but we got to say here, this is Trump's plan, whether it works or not. I'm looking at this and I'm just thinking, well, this is obviously how this guy got skyscrapers built, right? This is his style. His style is when you got to build a skyscraper, you got 10, 11, 12. What you do is you throw them all into confusion. They don't really know what you want. So eventually, one by one, they come to you and they make deals because they don't know how crazy you're going to get next week. Now, this has worked for him, obviously, in business. Will it work in global affairs or national affairs is something that we don't know. I mean, even the hardest, MAGA person has to admit, we ain't done it before, so we can't know. We have an awful lot of people who think they know, and overwhelmingly it's negative. But we really don't know because we haven't used tariffs for kind of not non-economic reasons, but he's not using tariffs the way Smoot-Hawley was designed. He's using tariffs to scare the hell out of another country so that they will agree to a deal beneficial to America, and sometimes not even about the economy. Sometimes it's about fentanyl. Sometimes it's about other things. So even MAGA has to say, we have never done this before, using tariffs as kind of a blunt instrument to bring adversaries, allies, into line with what we want. It's never been tried before.
There's two things to look at. You got the stock market and then you have the bond market. The bond market's the scarier market. And
Tell me why, by the way.
Yeah, so the United States, obviously the US dollar is still the world reserve currency. And there's a debate about if it will stay that, of course, but for now it is absolutely far and beyond the reserve currency. There are more dollars that, let's call it, than any other currency combined. We couldn't even switch over to another currency because there's not enough of it to do the transactions needed around the globe. And it is because we have a functioning and very liquid treasury market. So when we need cash to raise cash, we put bonds out in the market, people buy them, we bring in cash. That has to function. It has to function very smoothly, like an engine without a clink in it. And what happened last week is that there was a disruption in that market, and instead of rates going down during the stock market panic, so people buying bonds, pushing up prices, bringing down interest rates, it went the other way, and rates went up, and you would think the U.S. dollar would go up. That went down, so there was a dislocation there.
Right,
and that dislocation, not the stock market. I think that they didn't like that pain either, but it wasn't until the bond market started to falter a little bit that we saw what happened last Wednesday when there was this pause.
Why?
The other thing is that on the stock market side, the administration, I think, now has tested it twice. The first, there was a little trial balloon. I think it was last Monday, and markets went up 1,000 points intraday. And then they said, "Oh, that's fake news." And the market was back down. And then they did the pause, and the Dow was up 3,000 points. So I think the administration, if you're looking at the executive branch, I think they have a pretty high tolerance for a bad stock market because they know with the snap of a finger
they can have a good day.
They can have a really good day and make back a lot of those gains. The problem, and I'd say the worry that all markets have, is that if we start to have a dislocation in that very important functioning treasury market
that keeps things liquid,
if that starts to falter, then that's something that you can't fix with a press release.
We got to take a break, but when we get back, I want to, and I don't know if this is probably a stupid question, but as I've been reading about this, not really being an expert at it, why is how come gold and Bitcoin go down? I thought they were supposed to go up when they were. Just hold on. We'll go to traffic first and figure that out. Alex Williams says there's a travel advisory on 85 in Brookhaven.
Hey, good afternoon, Eric and gang. Yeah, we're watching this crash. Been there a while. It's in 2 left lanes. I see the tow trucks there. Hopefully they'll get it cleaned up. Either way, 85 northbound, Claremont Road, exit 91. That's where the 2 left lanes are blocked, and it is stacked up the ride on 85 northbound back before the ramps to 400 north. So go ahead and take Beaver Spring Connector up to Buford Highway as an alternate to avoid that. Southbound stacked up out of Buckhead into Midtown and downtown. And just found a new crash into Cobb County, 285 southbound, the Interloop Chamblee Tucker Road, exit 34. Hero on scene holding the left lane there, keeping things slow coming out of Doraville. How's our travel advisory on I-75 in Cobb County, Kobe Dawkins?
Well, it remains 75 southbound before Windy Hill Road, exit 260. The officials in that crash continue to knock out 2 left lanes, seeing tough delays back to I-575. Use Highway 41 as an alternate. And this report is sponsored by Whole Foods Market. Save on vibrant organics at Whole Foods Market. Get organic asparagus for $3.99 per pound with Prime through April 22nd. While supplies last, shop in store or online. Terms apply. From the Coolray Carrier Traffic Center, Triple Team Traffic, 95.5 WSB.
It pays to have the WSB radio app. Download it today and get ready for the Blitz.
The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz. 5 chances every weekday to win $1,000.
Well, what a blessing that is. Thank you so very much. I really appreciate that.
The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz.
From 95.5 WSB begins Monday, April 21st.
On 95.5 WSB. Download the WSB radio app now.
You should never need financing for a simple garage door repair, but it's happening here. Out-of-town companies have invaded Atlanta for a cash grab, charging outrageous prices. Hi, I'm Dan Watkins, owner of All Four Seasons Garage, Entry Doors, and Windows. Stay local and stay on budget for every opening of your home. All Four Seasons, trusted in Atlanta for over 25 years, exceptional customer service, and fair, honest pricing. When trust matters, trust us. All the number 4 Seasons Garages.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
Remember that first paycheck when you started working all those years ago? You looked at the net amount and thought, whoa, what happened here? Ah, the joy of taxes. It could be this way with your retirement accounts. You know how much you've saved, but if you haven't planned for Uncle Sam, you could come up short in retirement. With tax laws constantly changing, there's a lot you need to know to make sure you're not paying more than your fair share. Financial advisor Mark Lloyd and the Lloyd Advisory Group can help you create a plan that shows you how taxes could affect you now and in the future. Set up your tax strategy session with Mark and the team at the Lloyd Advisory Group now. Call 770-766-5611. That's 770-766-5611. Make sure you know how these changes could affect you so you can avoid some of those whoa moments in retirement. Call 770-766-5611. Insurance products and services offered through Lloyd Advisory Group. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal.
This is Scott Slade. Let's talk about how to improve your chances of living a longer, healthier life. For me, it's preventive medicine. My doctor saw one funky number in my lab work that eventually led to a diagnosis early enough so I still had options. You just got to have a medical professional looking at you every so often, especially when we're talking about heart disease, the nation's #1 killer. And that's where virtual imaging comes in. They've got the best CT imaging in the Southeast with 98% accuracy and low radiation, like flying in an airplane. They can detect calcium levels in your arteries and most cancers at the earliest stage. And virtual imaging can scan your brain to see if you're in danger of a tumor, stroke, or even dementia. So don't put this off, especially with this offer for virtual imaging. For a limited time, they're offering you and your spouse a free heart scan. Yes, free with a few minimum requirements. I've done it. Call 404-678-SCAN. That's 404-678-SCAN. Or make an appointment by visiting their website at virtualimagingatl.com.
Your deck is more than just a place to flip a burger or have a cup of coffee. It gathers your friends and family on all your favorite occasions and is there to enjoy every day. Hi, I'm Scott Nelson, owner of Nelson Exteriors, and we build beautiful, high-quality decks at a reasonable price. We're licensed and insured, provide exceptional customer service, design help, and we'll work with the materials you want. Strength, durability, beauty. Decks done differently. Built by Nelson Exteriors. Get your free estimate. Google Nelson Exteriors.
So I talked your ear off during the break, so maybe didn't give you enough time to think about it there, Wes Moss. But I do want to know what you think about, before we go to the Ferris Bueller thing, why I don't know anything about anything when it comes to economics, all right? But I always thought that if the stock market tanked, then gold should go up because gold is a flight to safety. I also thought that Bitcoin was created not as just another stock, but that Bitcoin is supposed to be kind of like gold, a flight to safety. There's only so much of it. There'll never be these kind of regulations. So what is it unusual that gold, I mean, Bitcoin's new, so we'll throw that out, but gold, is it unusual that gold drops with the stock market? Why don't people believe in gold? I don't understand.
So gold has done well over the last couple of months. So
really?
Yes, gold has done actually really well.
I would expect it to be going through the roof.
It's far outpaced Bitcoin. Recently.
Well, Bitcoin is new, but I mean, shouldn't gold be going through the roof right now?
Yeah.
It's up $111 today.
Well,
okay.
Let's look at it over, let's call it the last year. Gold was, call it.
So I'm just wrong. If I'm wrong, just tell me I'm wrong.
Yeah, no. Gold's done super well.
Okay,
It's basically gone.
So it's working the way that it's supposed to.
It's gone from 2,000 an ounce to 3.
Okay,
yeah,
so
it's up a lot. It's up
that
30%
is tracking
or so.
I must have dreamt that I saw headlines that went the other way because I really believe I've been reading things that went the other way.
There was a question this morning or this week I saw with a Bitcoin fund manager analyst about gold versus Bitcoin and why isn't Bitcoin is supposed to be a store of value, but you've already answered your own question. It's just too young.
Right.
It's supposed to eventually be that way, but it might take 20 years to get there. It is really still a risk asset. So the NASDAQ does well, so does Bitcoin. It has not gotten that status of a real flight to safety, at least just yet. I mean, it could eventually get to that point.
I don't even understand why it's considered like something that can be traded on Wall Street. I thought it was supposed to be an alternative to the way that we do our money.
Yeah,
and
but
our...
remember, everything's traded. I mean, the U.S. dollar versus the Canadian dollar versus the euro versus the yen. So everything's traded. So it's technically a currency, but really it's more like it's really like a risk asset, like an equity.
You think it's good risk? Over, let's say 20 years.
You know, it really depends on where you're coming from, right? So, I mean, this thing has been so volatile. If it had been a sleepy turtle-esque type asset that's moved slowly, and I could say in 10 years, the big central banks in Europe and Asia and the United States, which we're forecasting to do that here, then if big countries and central banks are going to start buying and owning it like gold, then yeah, it has a great outlook. However, when you have something that's been this volatile and goes from 30 to 50 to 100 back down to 20 or back down to 75, that's just nowhere close to a store
I think that the what it's supposed to be is something that is not, that you don't think of it the same way you think of trading on Wall Street. I think Bitcoin should be, my idea of what's great about Bitcoin is that it takes sovereignty away from currency. I mean, or maybe that's the bad thing.
It eventually might, but it's
that's
nowhere
when it
close.
becomes gold.
Yeah.
That's when it becomes
Long
gold.
way
Because
away.
gold is currency without sovereignty. Alex Williams says there's a big jam on 85 out of Midtown.
All due to this travel advisory crash, still in 2 left lanes, 85 northbound, Claremont Road, exit number 91. I think they're starting to pick up some of the cones, but nonetheless, it has absolutely ruined the ride on 85 northbound, starting back before Georgia 400. You can use a Buford Spring connector. Just stick with it to Buford Highway to get around this crash. As an alternate, travel advisory number 2 in Marietta. Crash still in 2 left lanes, 75 southbound, Windy Hill Road, exit 260. You're slow back up toward Highway 5. Highway 41 Cobb Parkway will get you around that. Checking the ride to the west side of town, it's Kobe Dawkins.
Well, 20 westbound, seeing slight delays ramping on to I-20 from I-285, and 20 eastbound, you're on and off the brakes from Riverside Parkway to the perimeter, and also dealing with the crash on Fulton Industrial Boulevard going southbound right at I-20. That crash is knocking out 2 right lanes, adding to the delays as you approach I-20. Traffic brought to you by Reliable Heating and Air. Stop paying for expensive heating and air repairs or home warranties. Get a reliable protection plan for just $14.99 a month and enjoy 100% parts and labor coverage for any age system, make, or model. Triple Team Traffic, 95.5 WSB.
Hey, this is Belinda for the board-certified plastic surgeons at Marietta Plastic Surgery. The plastic surgeons and estheticians at Marietta Plastic Surgery have been taking care of my needs for years. Doctors West, McNeil, Hanna, and Biswas have served Atlanta for over 25 years, providing both surgical and non-surgical treatments. They're recognized for their commitment to patient care and satisfaction, and were featured in the Atlantan magazine list of top doctors. The temperature's starting to rise and summer's just around the corner. Are you ready for the pool, lake, or beach? Whether you're considering enhancements for your face, body, or breast, their experts are here to guide you. Marietta Plastic Surgery offers a range of med spa treatments which provide youthful, glowing skin, including Botox and fillers, microneedling, Diamond Glow, hydrofacials, and Morpheus 8. Contact them today for a consultation. Visit MariettaPlasticSurgery.com.
When someone's AC is on the fritz, drains are clogged, or wall outlets are sparking, Castile Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electrical never asks, how soon do you need it fixed? You know why? Because no one in recorded history has ever said, oh, take your time, just whenever you can get to it. We just assume how fast can you get here will always be the answer. So Castile will be there same day, and we won't leave until you're 100% satisfied. See? Sometimes it's good to assume. It gets your AC fixed fast. Book today at CastileAir.com.
Imagine selling your home and getting paid not just once, but twice. It's possible with Orchard. Hey, it's Eric Von Hessler. Orchard puts cash right into your pocket. That lets you snag your dream home now. While you're settling in, Orchard experts are hard at work preparing and marketing your old home, taking care of repairs, showings, even adding price-boosting upgrades. Why choose Orchard? Because when your home sells for more, like it does 9 times out of 10, you get that extra cash too. It's like getting paid twice. Orchard unlocks cash from your old home for your new one. That's payday number 1. You buy your new place, and Orchard sells your old home for top dollar. Boom. Payday number 2. Ready to make it happen? Start with your free home valuation at Orchard.com or call 1-844-421-SELL. That's 1-844-421-SELL. 1-844-421-SELL.
At CertaPro Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder, or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter, or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights. With thousands of 5-star reviews, you can trust us to bring happiness home. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
It's Ashley Frasca. When installing sod, freshness is key. It can be installed right now. You can trust NG Turf for the freshest, highest quality sod, like Rebel Supreme Fescue and Southern Blue. With multiple local farms across Georgia, they sell direct to homeowners. NGTurf.com.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
At 4:30, I'm Bill Caiaccio. News sponsored by Hoffman Financial Group. Our top story, it is a WSB Money Update. A rough day for stocks after the chairman of the Federal Reserve says he expects inflation to rise and economic growth to slow due to tariffs.
Tariffs are highly likely to generate at least a temporary rise in inflation. The inflationary effects could also be more persistent.
The Dow finishing the day down almost 700 points. The S&P drops over 2%. The NASDAQ closes the day down more than 3%. Georgia businesses are feeling the crunch of the tariffs on Chinese imports. Georgia Chamber of Commerce President Chris Clark says they are hearing from businesses experiencing challenges from increased costs.
When you've got a small mom and pop organization on Main Street in downtown rural Georgia, and 100% of their product is an import product that they're repackaging or selling, this is going to hurt them first.
They are encouraging Georgia businesses to find alternative trade routes and stockpile goods while the 90-day tariff pause is in effect for countries excluding China. 71 degrees and Atlanta cooling into the mid-40s again tonight and heating up by the end of the week. Meteorologist Christina Edwards has Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast coming up. This just in, 2 people are dead after a shooting at an apartment complex in Henry County. Stockbridge police are called to the South Winds Point Apartments on Evergreen Way this afternoon. They confirmed 2 people are dead. Police are working to determine what led up to the shooting and no word yet on any possible suspects. A federal judge finds probable cause to hold the Trump administration in criminal contempt over deportation flights.
The finding follows the administration's refusal to follow the judge's order to turn around the planes that were carrying Venezuelan migrants to a prison in El Salvador. While the White House plans to appeal, Loyola law professor Lori Levinson says this is just the beginning.
We are moving closer and very quickly to a real conflict between the courts and the administration.
The judge says the migrants did not receive due process. The White House says the president is protecting the country. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
A criminal justice specialist with the Cobb County Sheriff's Office is fired after he's arrested on child sex charges. Ivan Munoz was arrested today after a little girl said she had been molested.
An 8-year-old had the courage to come forward to her church and share with adults there that she had been inappropriately touched and molested by an adult, an actual family friend.
Officer Chuck McPhillamy with Marietta Police says Munoz is charged with 2 counts of aggravated child molestation. Metro Atlanta movie theater operators want parents to step in as unsupervised teenagers leave huge messes in theaters.
It's happening during the final moments of the popular Minecraft film when a character known as the Chicken Jockey appears. Brant Gully owns the Spring Cinema and Tap House in Sandy Springs and says as soon as that moment hit during a jam-packed showing, chaos ensued.
Kids with air horns, 100+ people throwing their full containers of popcorn, throwing pizza.
It's become a viral moment on social media.
It probably took 3.5 hours initially to get that auditorium clean.
Gully says he wants parents to get involved. Austin Eller, 95.5 WSB.
The suspected arson at the Pennsylvania governor's residence will be investigated as a possible hate crime. Governor Josh Shapiro says this cannot be tolerated.
This kind of violence has no place in our society, regardless of what motivates it. This is not how we resolve our differences.
The district attorney believes suspect Cody Balmer targeted Shapiro for his Jewish faith. He's been a staunch supporter of Israel. Slow down when you eat. Reporter Sherry Preston says eating too quickly can lead to weight gain.
British scientists say you're eating too fast if you typically finish a regular-sized meal in less than 20 minutes. That means you could have a higher risk of obesity, swallow more air that leads to bloating, or have unchewed pieces of food lodged in your esophagus. Expert advice: put down your phone, turn off the TV, and focus on the meal itself.
It is now 4:34, and it's time for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Triple Team Traffic begins now with Alex Williams.
Got some better news for our drivers out of Northeast Atlanta, Midtown area, trying to get up into Brookhaven and DeKalb County. The crash is finally cleared. 85 northbound Claremont Road, exit 91. Going to take some time for those brake lights to improve, starting back before the Georgia 400 split. Heading southbound, it's still all brake lights. 75, 85 southbound from the 400 merge all the way down to I-20, with northbound stacked in from University Avenue up past Peachtree, Pine Street. In Marietta, 75 southbound, that travel advisory continues. 75 south just before Windy Hill Road, exit 260. Crash in 2 left lanes there. You're jammed up before North Marietta Parkway. Use Highway 41 Cobb Parkway. Northbound delays just on and off the brakes from Delk Road up into Kennesaw. How's the ride on Georgia 400 this afternoon, Kobe Dawkins?
Well, it's slow. Georgia 400 northbound, seeing it start to slow, leaving the perimeter, getting past North Ridge Road, and then just a tap of the brakes getting into Alpharetta. From the Cool Ray Carrier Traffic Center, Triple Team Traffic, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Clear skies and cool for tonight.
tonight as temperatures fall into the mid-40s for tomorrow morning. Tomorrow afternoon, sunshine, high 76. Heating up on Friday with sunny skies, morning low 52, afternoon high 84.
Right now it's 70 in McDonough, 71 in Lilburn, and 74 in Cartersville. More news at 5 o'clock. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Bill Caiaccio, 95.5 WSB.
Breda is best at keeping termites out. Complete protection with an unmatched guarantee. Plus, your termite rate is locked in for 10 years.
Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
Multiple contractors and estimates for your home projects? What a hassle. Instead, trust the Plus. Painting Plus.
Hi, I'm Charlie, owner of Painting Plus and the Plus family of businesses. We're reliable, fully licensed and insured, no muss, no fuss, trust the Plus and leave everything on your list to us.
If your home's exterior has it, the Plus can improve it. Painting Plus. Siding, gutters, windows, decks, porches, roofing, and more. Trust the Plus. PaintingPlus.com.
You don't just ride, you're obsessed. Injured in a wreck? Call Steel Horse Law, motorcycle injury lawyers who ride.
Attention men, are you suffering from ED or PE? Here's an important message from Choice Men's Health.
I'm Dr. Katz and I'm the Chief Medical Director at Choice Men's Health. Are you performing the way you want to in the bedroom? If the answer is no and you've tried Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra and were disappointed, then you need to come see us immediately. If you don't see results on the first visit, then there's no charge. Many of our patients have medical conditions such as diabetes, hypertension, obesity, and prostate problems. I'm happy to say that we have 98% success rate with all our patients. Our customized solutions will allow you to perform within 10 minutes and last an hour and even longer. You can regain your love life and tackle your ED and PE problems. Guys, your partner will never complain again. Our clinic has the most affordable prices, so if you visit other clinics and you're not completely satisfied, then you need to call Choice Men's Health.
Regain your love life regardless of your age or medical history. Choice Men's Health guarantees results on your first visit or you pay nothing. Call now. 404-400-1170. That's 404-400-1170.
Put your headphones on, Wes Moss.
He's got to get the headphones and the glasses on.
I know. Even though he's so good looking, he appears to be aging in reverse. That's the surface. But the eyeballs, that's going to go. That's going to tell you how old. That's like the rings inside of a trunk of a tree. I don't care how pretty the tree is. He's got to put on his readers.
Still can't see.
He's got to put on his readers, for heaven's sake.
Eyeball aging technology.
We're not there yet. Unfortunately, we're not there yet.
My mom just got cataract and got lenses, and she really.
Inner lenses, inner eyeball, that thing.
Yeah, I guess
Okay,
whatever
yeah.
the cataract
Yeah.
surgery is, I think you get a lens. I don't really know, but she really speaks of it as if it is like this a miraculous thing to have not only perfect eyesight because of the lenses, but it was so gradual over, let's call it 15 years. Is just the difference in light. She's like, I didn't realize the world was so bright.
Yeah, so bright and yeah.
So my tennis, she went from her tennis game had gotten slowly worse, but she didn't realize it was her eyesight. And now, all her tennis friends are like, wait a minute.
Hey,
she
she's
can
good.
see the ball.
She's good.
All right, we all need to go get our eye surgery if we're going to keep up with Wes Moss's mom. And that's what it's all about. I guess, right, with having you here, I don't want to overdo one thing, but the tariffs are the tariffs, and that's what's going on. Ultimately, what do you think right now? On one hand, Wes, all the danger signs before you actually pull the trigger on these things, I would have thought that the Dow will be down to 10,000 by now, right? So we're actually still kind of floating in this space. It's lost a lot, but it hasn't necessarily hit a bottom, but it's kind of floating in a space. So I look at it and think, well, in terms of Wall Street, it isn't as bad as it could have been yet. Now we got this Powell thing happening now, and then we'll get a retort through Truth Social, and we'll see where that goes and what that does. But you've been studying this stuff for a long time. What's your gut feeling? Is this going to work? Is it not going to work? What?
I think that I think of it as, I don't know if I told this story on radio or what media it was the other day, but one of my kids asked me, first of all, my youngest kid, and he said, who are the tariffs and who are we at war with?
He said, everyone.
I said, Sammy, they're not. I said, they're not people. Tariffs are not
bad.
people.
They're bad tribe.
However, they do impact all of us. They
Yeah.
do impact people, and they're really more like a tax, and they make things more expensive to encourage us, let's say, in this case, to buy more of our stuff versus other countries' stuff, right? And he, by the way, he understood that really well. But he did mention that we're in a trade war. Like, who are we at war with?
Oh, so he saw the word war.
Yeah, trade war.
Okay.
Yeah,
And he
Who
figured it
these
was a
people we're at
shooting
war
war.
with. And what my gut is that we're not in a trade war. We're in a global trade renegotiation, and it's really painful to do it. And I think that, and I look at Trump and I look at the administration, I think they know they can call off the dogs at any point, and they've got a really high pain tolerance for this. They didn't back in the first term. They seem to have a really high pain tolerance for it today. One, I think they know they can unwind things quickly. And two, I don't know the problem with that. And this is why the length of uncertainty matters, in my opinion. So if the uncertainty is another month or two, I think we come out of this and we're fine and we're on to tax reform and we're thinking about other things. But as it persists, I mean, I had a call with a family I've worked with for a very long time. They do an annual trip down to the beach, down to 30A. You know, that Destin area, all those, you can do a trip down there for $5,000 with your whole family, or you can spend 50 like Jared might do.
Yeah.
If he went down there.
Well, his wife.
$3,000 a night.
Listen, we've
house overlooking the water.
I have worked both ends of the spectrum there. I went there on spring break, Wes, when I was in high school. I had $20 and I made it work in Panama City.
So you can spend $50 to $50,000 a week. So you got parents, you've got the grandparents, their adult kids, and all the grandkids.
And they do this yearly.
You're talking 14 people. Right? They called me up the other day and said, we're canceling our trip, which really hit me hard. I mean, it literally almost brought tears to my eyes. I mean, I get like a fishing pic with the grandfather and the kid and the fish and the blue water, and I said, whoa, what's the uncertainty? The portfolio it has to be down. I know it. That means we shouldn't be spending money, and it's never going to. What if it doesn't get any better? What if we go into a Great Depression? And these are all the things that Americans are thinking. And when it starts to impact real behavior, and that's a decision out of fear. By the way, they're still. I talked with them. They're doing the beach trip.
All right, you talked them into it.
I talked them off the ledge, and they're doing the beach trip.
Because in reality, they're not doing as poorly as they thought they were.
Not at all. They're doing great. They just are. The fear around all the headlines makes it seem like things are worse than they are. By the way, this is the other. I think there's another real disconnect. The stock market is up still about 6%. Oh, now that doesn't count today. As of yesterday, 6% over the past year. The bond market is up about 6%. So if you have a little bit of a time horizon, it hasn't been a bad 12 months. It's just been a really rocky 2 months.
If it works, it's going to be ingenious.
Yeah, but there's no possible way for this to work. There's no possible way.
No, I mean, in terms of getting other deals that aren't. See, going back to.
The negotiation will work.
Yeah.
But
my point is, it has to work. And I think what Jerome Powell is saying today is, okay, this is a gambit. You're doing it, but you've got to resolve it. Like this can't go on and on and on. If this is a 2 or 3 month thing and you use it as a battering ram to get other things done, this thing can come back together. And I've said this from the very beginning. This can't go on 6 months, a year and a half without it being really, really bad. But if he pulls it off and he gets it done in 2 or 3 months, it might work.
Well, again, the question is what is working? What is the final destination here?
Let me go back to where. Are you familiar with Tim Dillon? This is what I always go through. I agree with what he said about all of this.
I don't know if it'll work, but he's not wrong.
About the economy. And so a lot of us think that the same forces that continually have us in foreign wars that are unwinnable and are the same forces behind the economy right now. The economy is put together in such a way that it's put together to be unreformable politically, because like it's a third rail. If you took that first step to try to reform it, you're going to cause so much pain, you're going to lose your job. You're not going to get reelected. Don't do it. Don't go near it. And the whole thing is set up. And I believe far too few people are getting a lot wealthier off the backs of the middle class, which is being eviscerated. And I think that's what Tim Dillon is talking about, that you have to smash. It's built to be unreformable. And the people who get the most out of it are the people who are already wildly wealthy.
Private equity at the very, 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 very
And I've always believed this, that not always, but in thinking about the economy over the last 5 or 6 years, in a general sense, I believe every policy should be aimed to the middle of the middle class, because that provides a ladder down to people just below them to get into the middle class. And the middle of the middle class is going to buy everything that the rich people have products out there, because they're not going to be worried like your friends who almost canceled their vacation. And so right now, this economy is set up to make very wealthy people even wealthier. And to go back to,
I don't know if it'll work, but he's not wrong.
He's not wrong that it needs to be reformed.
The question is, what is working? What will we stand back and say, oh, that worked? I think we will make progress, and I think we'll have a great negotiation with much better deals, and there'll be some push towards more made here. But the thought of making everything here,
right, it's ridiculous.
That can't really happen. You can't make all
and the
of
idea
the
that
semiconductors
Vietnam
here.
is supposed to, like, that whole thing was ridiculous, because Vietnam doesn't have the money or the number of people to buy that much from us. So there's parts like that, and I think that he must know that, right?
Right, that's why
Peter
I think
Navarro knows that,
I think
right?
It's still not a trade war; it's a negotiation, and I think the negotiation can benefit us as long as it doesn't take too long.
Right, because we can put the house back together pretty quickly. Alex Williams says there's a travel advisory on 75 in Marietta.
Yeah, crash involving a tractor trailer and a sedan, I-75 southbound between Delk Road and Windy Hill, still in 2 left lanes, and that's why you're seeing the extra slow brake lights back toward Highway 5. You can use Highway 41 Cobb Parkway as an alternate. Northbound, not too bad, just sluggish as you make your way up toward Kennesaw, and it breaks free right around Chastain Road. If you're traveling I-20 westbound out of downtown, a few brake lights from the downtown connector out to Martin Luther King Jr. Drive, and then outside the perimeter, we got that crash right near I-20. Right lanes are knocked out. Fulton Industrial Boulevard southbound at I-20, slowing you back to MLK Junior Drive. How's the ride on I-85 toward Gwinnett County, Kobe Dawkins?
Well, you're slow. 85 northbound, that slow, it starts at Chambly Tucker Road through Spaghetti Junction, getting to Indian Trail Road, and then you break free until you get to Highway 316, spotting some delays getting to I-985. From the Cool Ray Carrier Traffic Center, Triple Team Traffic, 95.5 WSB.
The morning rush hour.
Looks to be a tanker truck crashed into the median.
Evening rush hour.
It is an absolute mess.
And everything in between.
Also, bring the speeds down. The rain is falling on 75 and 575.
Tune in 24/7 with the Triple Team Traffic Center.
Your source for Atlanta's traffic. Brought to you by the Cool Ray Lifetime Parts and Labor Warranty.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
A company that has been trusted in Atlanta for over 25 years has already done their hometown homework, like having the very best people, fair, honest pricing, exceptional customer service, and a focus on high-quality work. That's us. Hi, I'm Dan Watkins, owner of All Four Seasons Garage, Entry Doors, and Windows. Sometimes new isn't better, like out-of-town home improvement companies invading Atlanta with their inflated pricing and subpar work. When trust matters, trust us. All the number 4 Seasons Garages.
Spring weather brings everyone out of hibernation. Don't we love to get outside? But it makes our crowded roads even more crowded. Hey, it's Smiler Mark McKay. Road congestion combined with spring distractions cause more accidents. Been hit and hurt? Call the Strong Arm, John Foy & Associates. They specialize in personal injury law with an impressive winning track record, taking on the big insurance companies. There is zero cost until they win your case. Call for your free case evaluation right now. JohnFoy.com.
Listen up, because women have long waited for the world to recognize the importance of our health.
Northside Hospital goes beyond "we hear you" to "we're out here with you," because women deserve more than open ears.
They deserve open doors, and 1 ounce of action is worth 1,000 words.
Northside is rolling up our sleeves and getting to work for you.
This is a house call. Heard. Learn more at northside.com/heard.
Spring storms can produce flash flooding with heavy rain flowing around your house and into your crawl space. And rainwater trapped in there will provide the perfect breeding ground for mold. Hey, this is Christina Edwards. Mold not only produces that stale, musty smell, but it can also impact the air quality in your home. But call my friends at American Crawl Space Solutions. They will encapsulate your crawl space, keeping it dry and preventing mold from forming. AmericanCrawlSpaceSolutions.com, your best value for crawl space repair.
American Crawl Space Solutions. Foundations too.
It's Diamond Month at D. Geller & Son Jewelers, and that means this month, buying diamonds comes with even more diamonds. All through the month of April, when you spend $9.95 or more, you'll receive a pair of gorgeous hand-matched diamond studs absolutely free. At $9.95, you get a quarter-carat pair of studs for free. $24.95, we'll give you half-carat studs. And at $99.95, you're going home with a full-carat pair of studs on us. All April long in Kennesaw, Sandy Springs, and online at dgeller.com.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-478-6688. That's 1-800-478-6688. Or go to SelectQuote.com. 1-800-478-6688. That's 1-800-478-6688.
SelectQuote. We shop. You save. Full details on example policies at selectquote.com/commercials.
Yeah, it's
Nothing
all
wrong
fun.
with that.
Nothing wrong with that? Sure.
Got to find the money somehow.
Yeah, there's people dancing because they
all of our wealth.
They're retooling their mortgage so their kid can get into college. And this commercial has the parents dancing like, "Oh, this is the greatest thing in the world. We just took on the extraordinary amount of debt. Aren't we happy?" Hey, Wes Moss, why don't you tell people how you can get more Wes Moss, and then we'll go to the last thing here.
Well, right here on the Von Hessler Doctrine.
Of course.
Sunday mornings, 9 to 11, right here on WSB Radio. Money Matters. And the Clark Howard Show. Clark Howard Podcast.
Oh, look at that. You do a lot of that. You fill in for him from time to time.
No, I've been doing it every single week all year long. I do a whole segment called Ask an Advisor. So it's Clark's pod. It's the Clark Howard Show. But every Tuesday, Chris, I answer questions, and I've been doing that on Money Matters too, in the first hour.
Very
so
good.
I'm doing. He gets so many financial questions, hundreds and hundreds. And I'm answering them, and it's actually a lot of fun. So I think some people seem to like it. Who knows? Maybe some people don't. But
hey, there's always somebody who doesn't.
But the easy way to find me and our team is at yourwealth.com. That's YOURwealth.com.
All right. So we talked about the fact that Jerome Powell, did he quote Ferris Bueller?
As that great Chicagoan Ferris Bueller once noted, life moves pretty fast. For the time being, we are well positioned to wait for greater clarity before considering any adjustments to our policy stance.
And that is.
Did Ferris Bueller say the policy stance?
Oh yeah, I think it was. I think it was. It's in the director's cut.
Yeah, Hughes was really into going deep into the economy.
Yeah.
And
I think that it sounds to me like what he's saying is your strategy is to keep everybody in confusion, but you're also confusing us. So what we need is clarity. I can't come up with a policy based on the president's whims. It's not possible. If I voted for him, if I love him, I can't create policies when the entire strategy is confusion and non-clarity.
If the Fed is confused, then America's confused.
Which is why the markets responded the way they did.
And I think that if I were to summarize what he talked about today, is that I think what he was saying, and the tone was really important, and he was a little rascal.
I don't like that snarky stuff from him. I got to be honest with you.
It was more just his entire demeanor was, hey, Washington, D.C., you're creating a mess. At least get it over with so we can step in to help.
Which is kind of like what we were just talking about. If this is resolved in 2-3 months, we got a shot here, and maybe it even gets really a whole lot better a year down the line. But if this goes on 6 months, 8 months, a year, it ain't going to work. I'm going to tell you that right now.
I think they know that. They know that.
They have to.
They know that.
That's why they did that little thing last week, and the market shot up 1,000. All right, Wes Moss. Good looking as ever.
Hey, thank you guys for having me.
We'll see you soon. Alex Williams is checking the ride around 285.
Circling the city right now, Eric, 285 east and southbound. The inner loop starts to slow in Sandy Springs, right at Georgia 400 as you head over to Doraville. You stack up again right at 85 Spaghetti Junction. Had a crash, 285 southbound. The inner loop at Chamblee-Tugger. They push that off to the side. But the brake light battle continues down to Highway 78, the Stone Mountain Freeway, 285 west and southbound. Budget about 40 minutes to travel from Chamblee-Dunwoody Road around to I-20, the West Freeway. We found new trouble on I-20 into DeKalb County. Kobe Dawkins.
Yeah, and it's 20 westbound right before Panola Road, exit 71. It's a crash, knocking out one right lane, seeing delays back to Evans Mill Road. Triple team traffic, 95.5 WSB.
Termites eat 24/7, and your home is in their path of destruction. Meteorologist Christina Edwards here for Breda Pest Management. You want a complete barrier from Breda, not a bait station. If your current service only inspects the outside, how do you know that the inside of your home is termite-free? Breda is better at beating termites. Only Breda inspects and protects the outside and inside. Plus, your termite rate is locked in for 10 years.
Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. When garage doors break, they usually don't break all at once. They don't just up and die. They die slowly. Garage doors complain a bit before they crap out, squeaking and sticking and shaking and grinding. They go down part way and then stop and go back up for no reason. But they hardly ever just end up dead with no symptoms and no long goodbye. If you ignored the signs, that dead door is on you. At Mo Better Garage, we make that way mo better. Our 19-point seasonal maintenance check makes sure everything's healthy. Oil the chain, check the rollers, realign the tracks, talk to you about how things are going, and look into any symptoms that might have you worried. Catch problems early, and your garage doors should be around to play with the grandkids and talk about the old days when all this was just farmland.
Mo Better Garage, we make it way more better.
MoBetterGarage.com.
This is Scott Slade. Let's talk about how to improve your chances of living a longer, healthier life. For me, it's preventive medicine. My doctor saw one funky number in my lab work that eventually led to a diagnosis early enough so I still had options. You just got to have a medical professional looking at you every so often, especially when we're talking about heart disease, the nation's #1 killer. And that's where virtual imaging comes in. They've got the best CT imaging in the Southeast with 98% accuracy and low radiation, like flying in an airplane. They can detect calcium levels in your arteries of most cancers at the earliest stage. And virtual imaging can scan your brain to see if you're in danger of a tumor, stroke, or even dementia. So don't put this off, especially with this offer from virtual imaging. For a limited time, they're offering you and your spouse a free heart scan. Yes, free with a few minimum requirements. I've done it. Call 404-678-SCAN. That's 404-678-SCAN. Or make an appointment by visiting their website at virtualimagingatl.com.
News is temporary, but your financial plan shouldn't be. I'm Wes Moss, and at Capital Investment Advisors, we're focused on helping retirees invest for income. This means building and managing a portfolio that delivers a steady stream of income, regardless of the scary headlines of the day. If you're ready to shift your focus from the headlines to your core pursuits in retirement, reach out to our team at yourwealth.com. That's YOUR wealth.com.
Cancer upends your life. We're doing all we can to change that. At Winship Cancer Institute of Emory University, we're reimagining the care experience to ease the burden of cancer with experts in your cancer and the research, trials, and treatments you can only get here. All so you can focus on what matters most, the best chance of living a full life. Winship Cancer Institute of Emory University. Cancer care designed around you and your life. EmoryHealthcare.org/Winship.
WSB Atlanta, WSB FM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's news and talk. News, weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's news and talk.
At 5 o'clock, I'm Bill Caiaccio. News sponsored by D. Geller & Son Jewelers. Our top local story, a call today to stop high-speed chases. WSB's Jonathan O'Brien reports live. It comes days after the death of an innocent 19-year-old bystander in Little Five Points.
Yeah, Bill, this news conference was held just steps away from a growing memorial for that 19-year-old killed here in a crash after police were chasing a suspect in a traffic-related case on Monday evening. A member of the Atlanta City Council and several Democratic state lawmakers joined in this call for officers to stop high-speed chases. Local activist Devin Barrington Ward with the National Police Accountability Project.
This is not a video game. This isn't Grand Theft Auto. This is not Need for Speed. This is not Gran Turismo. We are not playing PlayStation. We are playing with people's lives.
They are calling for high-speed chases to be stopped in residential or high-traffic areas and to limit those chases to cases where the suspect is connected to a felony crime. They also want to require supervisors of officers to be able to authorize those chases. They expect to take their case to the Atlanta City Council next week. Live in Little Five Points, Jonathan O'Brien, 95.5 WSB.
71 degrees in Atlanta, sunny tomorrow, but warming up over the weekend. Will it stay dry Easter Sunday? Meteorologist Christina Edwards has Atlanta Radio's only 5-day forecast coming up. All new this hour, demands for change after a horse is found dead on a downtown Atlanta sidewalk. WSB's Steve Summers reports live with what one animal rights group is asking the city to do.
Yeah, Bill, Georgia Animal Rights and Protection wants an outright ban on recreational horseback riding in Midtown and downtown. Group VP Julie Robertson says that kind of environment scares and disorients the animal, and pavement is bad for those horses' hooves. And she says there's a lot of dangerous riding.
People are bringing horses in and galloping up sidewalks, weaving the horses in and out of traffic.
The request comes after a horse was found dead on a sidewalk at Peachtree Street and MLK Drive. There's no word yet just how that horse died. Now, you can see video of recreational horse riding in downtown Atlanta on our website, WSBradio.com. Some of it kind of wild. Reporting live, Steve Summers, 95.5 WSB.
Now, WSB Money Update. Inflation fears spook Wall Street. Bloomberg's Tom Busby reports investors do not like today's comments from the head of the Federal Reserve.
Despite the Trump tariffs likely driving inflation higher, economic growth lower, and putting pressure on the U.S. labor market, Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell said today that policymakers can stay patient and wait to see how the tariffs play out before making any moves on interest rates.
The Dow finishing the day down almost 700 points. S&P drops over 2%. NASDAQ closes the day down more than 3%. Tariffs are starting to take a toll on Georgia businesses.
Small businesses across the state are seeing the initial impacts of the tariffs with increased prices for goods. Chris Clark with the Georgia Chamber of Commerce says businesses should try to get ahead of the 90-day pause if possible.
For larger employers right now, particularly in the manufacturing sector, we have seen 3 months of stockpiling of goods and products that they're importing. We encourage companies to continue to do that.
He says the lack of stability has been challenging, but it's important to look at all options like alternate trade routes. Austin Eller, 95.5 WSB.
A federal judge rules there is cause to find the Trump administration in criminal contempt over deportation flights to El Salvador. The Trump administration says it plans to appeal. New studies are launched looking into possible environmental causes of autism, and we have reaction today from the parent of a child who suffers from the disorder.
It's estimated that about 1 in 46 8-year-olds here in Metro Atlanta have autism. Andrew Anderson's son among them. He says he's glad they're taking a closer look at the causes of autism.
Why wouldn't you want to do a study on heart disease or cancer or any ailment? So hopefully there's not any pushback.
He's also hopeful that additional attention on autism will mean more resources for those impacted. As for the studies,
At worst case, we'll be smarter than what we are now, which that's a pretty good outcome regardless.
Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
It is 5:04. Time for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Triple Team Traffic begins with Alex Williams.
Better news for our friends in Cobb County trying to make their way through Marietta down toward northwest Atlanta and Truist Park. The crash is cleared 75 southbound, Windy Hill Road, exit number 260. So that is good news if you're coming down from Highway 5 where the jam had really started to pick up. Northbound's gotten a little bit slower up through Marietta. Elsewhere, if you're traveling 400 northbound, you're seeing the brake lights out of Sandy Springs from 285 up past the North Springs MARTA station. On the south side, 75 northbound, it's been slow this afternoon. Had an earlier crash clear off the exit ramp from 75 north to Hudson Bridge Road, but still seeing the brake lights pack in back at Highway 155 in the McDonough area. How's the ride through Midtown and downtown, Kobe Dawkins?
Well, it's packed in and stacked in. 75, 85 north. You start to get slow past Highway 166, Langford Parkway almost to 10th Street. 85 south, heavy volume starting at the Georgia 400 merge. And 75 south, those delays begin before Howell Mill Road, both getting to I-20. From the Coolray Carrier Traffic Center, Triple Team Traffic, 95.5 WSB.
Now Atlanta Radio's only 5-day forecast, sponsored by Shoemate, the official air conditioning of Atlanta. Here's meteorologist Christina Edwards.
Clear skies this evening. Sunset after 8 o'clock. Temperatures will be in the upper 60s at that time, continuing to cool into the mid-40s for tomorrow morning. Tomorrow afternoon, mostly sunny, high 76. Friday, mostly sunny, morning low 52, afternoon high 84. Warmer still on Saturday, morning low 60, afternoon high 85. Easter Sunday, partly cloudy, morning low 64, afternoon high 87.
71 in Roswell and Vining, 70 in Jonesboro. More news at 5:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Bill Kayachio, 95.5 WSB.
Hour 3 of the Von Hessler Doctrine begins right now. Well, I can tell you that I don't know what's going to happen. Trump is really pushing for a showdown with the courts. And he's just basically ignoring them, and I don't know what that's going to look like. I don't know why there's a reason for that. When it comes to the Trump administration, I think it's just a question is, are they just joyriding, or is there a purpose here? Is there an end goal?
It is completely different from the Biden administration.
Maybe a little bit of both.
A little bit of both.
Yeah, keep people on their toes. Look, I'm not afraid of the Constitution. I'm not frightened at all. A lot of these people who've been in here, they're afraid. But not me. I'm ready to challenge it. See what happens.
This guy that they won't bring back from El Salvador. On one hand, there's he's a Maryland father, but then again, there's a lot of other stuff too. Which really doesn't matter. What matters is it's checks and balances. You don't reform the legal branch by ignoring it. That's not the way that you reform it. You don't by just saying, because let me tell you something. If he can ignore all of these judges, Shelley and I have talked about this, and I'm assuming Shelley said it on his show. If he can ignore all of these judges, then I can ignore the next subpoena, right? Right? I mean, isn't that the way? And then the whole thing breaks down. Now, I can be subpoenaed for something that I feel is absolutely ridiculous. Matter of fact, one time I was subpoenaed for something that had nothing to do with me. But I had to accept a subpoena. I had to go through the system, and I ended up getting rid of it and not having to go to court. But because it was a ridiculous thing. But I wasn't able to just close the door and the guy and just walk away and go, I'm sorry, I'm not. So that's what it comes down to. Trump may be directionally correct on this kind of stuff. Maybe he's not a Maryland father. All I can tell you is he looks super stoned in every picture I've ever seen.
Autumn Senator Chris Van Hollen is down there.
Is running for president.
And he's down there in
He's
El
my
Salvador.
senator.
Yeah, don't bury the lead. Because when I look at that, I just saw it up there, Chris Van Hollen down in El Salvador, and that says to me, no, the real story is there's a vacuum at the top of the Democrat Party, and Chris Van Hollen is starting his 2028 presidential run, right? Can we just look at things the way they are? I'm one senator out of 100. I can get a whole lot of publicity, and I know that like half the country is going to love what I'm doing. So that's what's happening there. I look at that headline and go, okay, that guy's running for president in 2028. I get it.
It's a flex that Autumn has over Greg. I mean,
yeah.
Autumn Senator
I like
is there.
the fact that you're reminding me that we're supposed to be doing this.
He's a misanthrope. He has a dark heart, and he needs a good psychiatrist. It's Greg Russ with stories from Studio B1.
Wednesday edition.
Gotcha, Greg.
Yes, thank you.
As much as you kind of go after Jared Yamamoto, it appears to me that he is looking out for you.
I was looking out for him.
He was, and
All
I
right.
appreciate it.
So,
I didn't even go after him. I just thought it was interesting that he
You're-
laughs at your existential crisis.
yeah,
That's all.
you're kind of you're trying to sow a little division there, but that's you. That's what you do. That's your skill. That's what you do. You sow a little bit of division. That's part of what you do. Am I right?
Most of that happens off the air when I join and I talk to George, and I said, George, you should be talking more than all of them, especially Jared. Open the mic.
George, you're the funniest one. Come on, you know it.
Yeah, thank you.
It's behind the scenes where this is happening.
Thought that was between us, Craig.
Not anymore.
Well, the sowing a division. That's hey, you're learning from your president, right? Confusion, chaos.
Going back to what you're talking about, I already feel like there is a level of, yeah, I'm doing that. What are you going to do about it?
Mhm.
You going to stop me?
Yeah.
That seems to have permeated society.
Yeah, am I wrong about this? That if the president can ignore the courts, I can ignore the courts.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't get in trouble for it, I don't expect that I'm going to, and I will
But
be
you
very
will.
upset.
That's the problem.
What?
The problem is you will.
Right.
But the feeling is there. Like, it's easy to say, like, who are you? What, the power that you are wielding over me comes from where? It's kind of just made up.
Yeah,
Do I really need to listen to it?
It's all precedent, right?
Yeah.
Protocols. And it comes from the Constitution as well. Obviously, a lot is laid out there. But most of the law of this country right now is, it's a couple hundred years old, so it's precedent of how the Constitution has been interpreted along the way. And usually it's interpreted that if a judge says you got to do something, even if you think it's the dumbest damn thing in the world, you got to do it.
Well, I'm trying to get Congress to act. They haven't done anything since the 90s.
Well, there you go. That could, again, the way the tariffs may not be the real thing, this may be about, hey, Congress, if you want certain things to be law, make it a law. Take
They
it out
won't
of the
act,
hands.
though.
Well,
They don't do anything.
No, they don't do anything because they're afraid. And they would, in the House of Representatives especially, you get rewarded for it. What's the turnover? George, I don't know how to ask this question, but find out what there's elections every 2 years. What's the turnover? How many people lose their jobs
What
on
percentage
average?
of incumbents lose a congressional election?
Can we take guesses before he looks it up?
I would guess 2%.
2%. Okay, I'm going to say 10.
I'd say, I was going to say 10 to 15%. If once you're in, unless you do something that gets you back onto people's radars.
Right.
And usually that's a bad thing, and then you're out.
Yeah, hey,
And I
people
guess
in the House of
going
Representatives-
against the president is a bad thing these days.
20, 25 years now, and they've done nothing. Nothing. I mean, maybe they must bring a bridge home or something.
Remember,
for their
Mike Johnson,
constituents.
speaker, he's got that accountability buddy. He's got a.
Oh, yeah.
That's
well,
what it is.
we know what he says he's not doing in front of the computer
What
at
a
night.
creep. God.
He's a creep because he doesn't do that?
He's talking about it.
Because he talked to his son about it.
I don't do
Yeah.
it.
No, he and his son, when it
They
comes
hold
to
each other
pornography,
accountable.
yeah, they're accountability buddies.
Uh-huh.
Porno buddies.
Son, I'm
Porn
feeling
pals.
very weak right now. I'm about to go to the site.
No, the way-
Dad, I guess you shouldn't do that.
No, the way that it works is they have software on their phones and on their computers. So if one of them goes to a pornographic site, then the software tells the other one that it's going on.
Oh, I thought it was like a collar that they had to wear all during
Yeah,
the day.
it's like that. Hey, I've got an idea. If you don't want to look at pornography, don't look at it.
I can't stop myself.
I need my son to help me
Yes.
not do that.
Yeah.
That's definitely the first place you go.
Oh, absolutely. I can't imagine going to my son. Hey, you want to get involved in this? What do you
That's
say?
all you need to
Hey,
know.
Yeah.
Hey, we could dad and son not doing things together. This is important. A family that doesn't
Did you
play
watch White
together
Lotus,
stays
son?
together. I believe George found the answer.
Yes, on average, about 2 to 8% of congressional incumbents lose general elections. In the last few elections, it's been like 2%, 3%.
So we're all correct. It's between 2 and 8%.
That's what I said.
Yeah. Is that what you said? It'd be between 2
I
and 8%?
did. Yeah, I said exactly those.
I don't remember that, but you could be right.
Autumn gets the bell.
Ding ding.
Wouldn't you want to feel like you're
Excuse me.
offering something?
Excuse me.
That
Don't
felt good.
step on Autumn's bell. Thank you. Now go ahead.
If you were in Congress, wouldn't you want to feel like you were productive and you were offering something?
Hey, Greg, in this society, if you're making subs at a sub shop, don't you think you'd want to make a good sub and do it quickly? Look around. Nobody has not nobody, but percentage-wise, much less. I'm going to go in and do a good job today.
I thought about that though. Have you seen the clientele that have been going to these shops though lately? I mean, people are jerks to these
Don't
poor
blame
workers.
Don't blame them. The
The
workers are
customers
terrible.
are jerks now.
What came first, the
Yeah,
bad
exactly.
sandwich or the bad customer?
I think bad
question.
customer.
Hold on, that's a damn good question. Which came first, the bad sandwich or the bad customer?
404-872-07.
What do you think?
1-800-WSB.
Customers.
I mean,
I gotta say,
there's
customers
been
are
a
jerks.
There's been a degenerative.
But that is
there-
the point.
Yeah.
That's why someone goes into customer service is because they're good at dealing with the
Right.
jerks.
You were
because
a red
customer
coat?
service isn't all rainbows.
When I
Hold
worked,
on, you were red coat at Delta. Your job was just to, there's a crazy person and they're mad and they want something. Send them to Jared. So what did you do? You knew that they were being kind of ridiculous, but you worked with them.
I always tried to be as nice as possible, and I did enjoy what I did. So it was,
Right.
so that helped. I did enjoy that job. Although, when it rains here in Atlanta, I do get the a bit of the airport PTSD,
Oh,
knowing
really?
how because passengers lose their ish when it rains.
When it
and when
rains?
their planes are delayed. Yeah, they
That's
just
the new thing,
and
to
they
say
don't
ish.
and they don't understand. Hey,
Oh,
I'm
hell
FCC
yeah, dog.
compliant. And so I do get a little bit of PTSD from those days because passengers would be jerks
Well, I mean, I don't know that
when
I
their
would-
planes were delayed.
I don't know that. It's really strange. You know, you hear all these stories about airports and everything, and this is the busiest airport in the world, so a lot of stuff goes down. And I don't fly that much. You know, maybe on average 3 times a year or something. It always goes very well for me. I just go right through the airport. I don't have problems. I get in, I get
Listen,
out.
that's what you dream for when you're working there. You're like, oh
Right.
yeah, everything went on time. All the
Right.
passengers were here. Great.
You did test the waters though, flying that low budget airline.
Well, you learn
That's
lessons.
where a lot of the problems come from.
Yes.
To quote the great Kevin Kinney, scarred but smarter. Alex Williams says it's slow on 400s in Sandy Springs.
Yeah, a little slower than we're used to this time of the afternoon, Eric. 400 northbound stacks in right around the Glen Ridge connector. That is as you approach I-285. Not going to find any relief from the brake pedal until you approach Northridge, exit 6. Then a little sluggish through Alpharetta from Haynesbridge Road up past Windward Parkway, exit 11. 75 southbound, still seeing the brake lights in Marietta, leaving Highway 5 down toward 285, even though that earlier crash at Windy Hill is cleared. Northbound, slowing and going from Delk Road up to Kennesaw. That's up to the Chastain Road area. 85 northbound, toughest part of that ride is inside the perimeter. Brake lights find you at Shallowford Road. Not going to break free of that until you get up toward Norcross. Secondary slow zone from Sugarloaf Parkway up to I-985. With a check of the ride on I-20, the West Freeway, it's Kobe Dawkins.
Well, 20 westbound, you're on and off the brakes, leaving the perimeter, getting into Lithia Springs, and eastbound rides inside the perimeter. Volume begins at MLK Junior Drive, getting to the downtown connector. This report is sponsored by Whole Foods Market. Save on vibrant organics at Whole Foods Market. Get organic asparagus for $3.99 per pound with Prime through April 22nd, while supplies last. Shop in store or online. Terms apply. From the Coolray Carrier Traffic Center, Triple Team Traffic, 95.5 WSB.
More local news. The employee at a Walmart in Covington is in custody. Atlanta companies already warning of turbulence in the economy.
More traffic.
One crash on I-20 westbound.
40 minutes to head up the connector.
More weather.
We may be seeing this tornado strengthening.
Atlanta's morning news.
Tomorrow morning at 5. Newton County authorities crediting the Georgia State Patrol.
Wake up with 95.5 WSB. How Atlanta starts its day.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group, to discuss one of the biggest blind spots that people face when saving for retirement, and it's a head scratcher. Chris, how do so many people not know what they're invested in?
That's the biggest flaw that everybody runs into. They think they know what equities they have, they think they know what bonds they have, but they really don't know how those mutual funds or how those index funds are performing in conjunction with one another. So, I would liken this to a big pot of soup, and we're just throwing all the ingredients in the refrigerator in this thing. It's not very good. It's just a mishmash of stuff. And sometimes you like the way it tastes. Sometimes you don't. And when you don't know why. You don't know if you got too much chicken in there or too much vegetables in there or what's going on. And I ask every caller that comes in for an initial consultation, do you know how your portfolio is broken down? And they say, well, I've got, 20 or so options in my 401k, and I just picked 2 of them or 3 of them. I thought I needed some international. I thought I needed some U.S. equities. I thought I needed some bonds. And they're just guessing. So you have to absolutely know what you're invested in, and that's where we will run the 401k portfolio x-ray for you. because that'll break it down. If you're not proficient at investing and don't understand this world, we will walk you through it. Not knowing what you're invested in is a big hindrance to growing and protecting your money. We will run a portfolio X-ray for you and educate you on exactly what's in your portfolio.
Set up a time to get your complimentary portfolio X-ray today. Call the Hoffman Financial Group at 404-737-3858. That's 404-737-3858, or book online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163. 3546.
If you need a new garage door, this could be your lucky day. Entries are open now for the $5,000 sweepstakes at Overhead Door Company of Atlanta. A winner will be chosen at random to receive $5,000 towards new garage doors, openers, or front entry doors of their choice. Deadline to enter is the end of the month to win the $5,000 sweepstakes with Overhead Door Company of Atlanta. Enter now at overheaddooratlanta.com. You can't win if you don't enter. Go to overheaddooratlanta.com.
Avoid the stress of preparing to sell your home with a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. You can skip the hassle of spring cleaning and sell your home fast for maximum value. Hi, it's Chris Chandler. Don't worry about showings, open houses, or costly repairs. Mark Spain Real Estate's guaranteed offer allows you to bypass the market, receive an all-cash offer, and close within days. With over 12,500 five-star reviews, you can trust Mark Spain Real Estate to sell your home fast with their guaranteed cash offer. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today and start packing.
With our weather extremes, I wanted windows that would stand the test of time. Hi, it's meteorologist Glenn Burns, and I found them. I love my Infinity from Marvin fiberglass windows from North Georgia Replacement Windows. I was blown away. They're energy efficient and incredibly durable, 8 times stronger than vinyl, so they last. Experience the fiberglass difference in your home or in their new Alpharetta showroom.
Infinity from Marvin Replacement Windows, yeah!
All right, Greg Russ, get off your phone.
No.
We're back on the air.
I can't. It's my life.
See these stories, Gen Z, millennials battle brain fog.
Yeah, that is one of the stories that I've
It's
got.
social media overload. I knew it was. I was just leading.
Maybe it's long-term COVID.
Long COVID.
Oh, it's just long
Long
COVID?
COVID.
Yeah.
Paxlovid.
That's what led to this. So you get, what fatigue is a symptom of long COVID, correct?
Yes.
So
And
you're
brain
tired,
fog,
so
though-
you just lay there on your phone and stare at it.
And then you get brain fog.
And also, if we're talking about millennials, aren't the millennials getting older, and so we're just naturally going to have more brain fog?
But they're also talking about Gen Z as well, and maybe even more so with Gen Z. That's where I got this quote from Kara Nicole.
I feel like some dairy cow that's been milked dry by tech companies and who only sleeps so I can refill my energy cup to do it all over again.
Wasn't that in Mad Max?
It's not like you have no say in this. You don't have to stare at the phone and scroll
That's
constantly.
the point. That's the point. Exactly. You can change your life. You don't have to just march with everybody else. You don't have to think that thing that everybody else thinks is the coolest thing in the world is the coolest thing in the world. You don't have to be scrolling. As a matter of fact, I don't do it, and I can't understand why other people do it, but they tell me if they don't do it for 15 minutes, they experience some kind of depression.
Now, the best is when you're sitting on your couch and you're watching a show, and then you got your iPad to the left, and you got your phone in your right hand. You got 3
How
screens.
can you
going.
enjoy
Triple
anything?
screen.
Well, that's how you get the electric state.
Yeah.
The electric state is $320 million Netflix paid to make this movie, and nobody likes it. Everybody loves the graphic novel it came from. Nobody likes it. And the reason is because it's made so that you can comprehend what's going on the big screen as you're scrolling on your phone. And that's why you're just not going to get a whole lot of great films out of any sort of streaming service.
A lot of resets.
I mean, let's think of all the movies that are made. Which ones have been good? I haven't seen Don't Look Up. Everybody tells me it's fantastic. Wasn't that a streamer movie? That was good. Okay, but how many other great movies? Because it's been like 2, 3, 4 years now that they've been doing big budget movies at Amazon and Netflix. And how many great movies have come out of this? Because they know the reality. The reality is we want you to be there for a long time. So boom, this movie's an hour and a half, 2 hours long. You don't actually have to watch the whole movie to understand the movie. You can scroll and still understand the movie, and then we still get the hour and a half even though you didn't barely pay attention to it. And if you're investing money into that company, why wouldn't you do it that way?
You don't care as long as the people watch it. It doesn't matter if they got anything out of it.
Right.
And if you go to the movie theater, people, it seems like they go on autopilot too. It's hard for them to stay off their phones. And there are people sometimes you see they're shopping on Amazon. They're not even doing anything.
Yeah.
It's not like they got a text they need to.
Oh yeah, the
respond to.
babysitters. I hate the kids or whatever, something like that. You would understand, but
No,
they don't
like,
know how to exist
I've
without.
been here 45 minutes and I haven't looked
Yeah.
at my phone. I got to get onto the Amazon.
That
What am I
can't
gonna
be-
do?
Is there any way that can be good
No.
for society?
But a package is coming, guys. Package
Well,
is coming.
well, that's fine. I mean, you're gonna look at that.
I'm waiting for my Uber Eats.
I mean, it really is. And you know, I feel like an old man yelling and everything, but it's not good. It's not good that you are addicted to interacting with your phone all the time, not because there's something there that you know that you want, but because you're afraid that somebody else might see something 2 minutes before you did.
Here's the average. I found an average, and then there's different studies that have looked at this. But you know how the iPhone will give you a weekly report
Yeah.
how long you're on your phone each day. The average for the world apparently is 6.5 hours in countries, Western developed countries, and in the United States it goes up to 7 hours a day.
I've seen with some Gen Zers 9. That's like all of your waking moments of your.
And you wake up. You're
I
on
think
the
that,
phone
that
immediately.
that's got to end up. Ultimately, it's easier to control these people. I'm not an expert on that, but it's if everybody's doing the same thing all the time, if you want to control them, it becomes easier to control them. All right, let's give stuff away. 2 tickets to see Nitty Gritty Dirt Band on Thursday, August 28th at the Atlanta Symphony Hall. Symphony Hall. The Atlanta Symphony Hall. Be caller number 10 to 404-872-0750. Tickets are on sale right now at Ticketmaster.com. Alex Williams says it's stacked and it's packed through downtown.
Both of them this afternoon, Eric. It is all brake lights. You're jammed up heading southbound, starting right at the 85-400 merge. Some of those delays spilling back onto 400 south. 75 south, you jam in before Howell Mill. Northside Drive, exit 252. And it's going to take about 24 minutes to go from 17th Street down to I-20. Northbound slows from Highway 166, Langford Parkway, up past Peachtree, Pine Street. I-20 westbound, sluggish out of downtown into Lithia Springs. Speaking of, traffic troopers tell us you're jammed up on Thornton Road northbound trying to get up to Highway 78 Veterans Memorial Highway due to a crash at that intersection in Douglas County. New trouble on I-75 in Cobb County, Kobe Dawkins.
Yeah, 75 southbound right at Windy Hill Road, exit 260. Stalled big rig knocking out one center lane, adding to the delays back to I-575. Traffic brought to you by Reliable Heating and Air. Stop paying for expensive heating and air repairs or home warranties. Get a reliable protection plan for just $14.99 a month and enjoy 100% parts and labor coverage for any H-System make or model. Triple Team Traffic, 95.5 WSB.
So you're losing your hair and you need a simple solution that works, but you want the best. It's Mark Aram here. Modern technology, top-rated physicians. You want something that's guaranteed to work. Guys, you need Advanced Hair. Advanced Hair is completely redefined hair restoration from the experience itself to the unmatched results they produce. Receding hairline, bald spot, thinning hair, address them all with a simple one-day treatment in a calm, relaxed environment with experienced pros. Advanced Hair has performed tens of thousands of breakthrough advanced FUE treatments, and get this, your own natural hair begins to regrow the very next day. No one else in Atlanta can offer the advanced FUE found at Advanced Hair. Fix your hair loss today, starting with your free consultation, and you'll also get $500 off if you move forward. Call 470-660-HAIR. Refine your hairline with a team that's redefined hair restoration. And don't forget to ask about that Advanced Hair Guarantee, 470-660-HAIR or advancedhair.com.
The wreck was bad, but dealing with insurance can be even worse. Hey, it's Smiler Mark McKay for John Foy & Associates, the strong arm. When it comes to traffic accidents, I've seen it all, and nothing surprises me. But when it comes to how insurance companies treat accident victims, I'm shocked. If you've been injured, don't try to take on the insurance companies alone. You need an experienced, winning team. You need the strong arm to fight for you. Pay nothing up front and get your free case evaluation at johnfoy.com.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
At Butler Lexus of South Atlanta, they just don't sell cars. They set the standard of amazing. Enjoy personalized service, a Starbucks cafe, and airport parking concierge, because you deserve more than just a car. Visit ButlerLexusSouthAtlanta.com or call 800-NEW-LEXUS today, because they value you.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather, traffic. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
At 5:30, I'm Bill Caiaccio. News sponsored by Overhead Door Company of Atlanta. Our top story, it is a WSB Money update. Markets are spooked today after these words from Fed Chair Jerome Powell.
The level of tariff increases announced so far is significantly larger than anticipated, and the same is likely to be true of the economic effects, which will include higher inflation and slower growth.
He says the Fed may find themselves in a tough situation. Powell says interest rate cuts may not come anytime soon. The Dow finishes the day down almost 700 points. S&P drops over 2%. NASDAQ closes the day down more than 3%. New tariffs on Chinese imports are starting to impact Georgia businesses. Chris Clark, president of the Georgia Chamber of Commerce, says businesses are having a hard time keeping up with all of the changes.
There's a little bit of whiplash going on. Businesses like stability. We like to know what the rules are. We'll abide by those rules, but give us time to ramp up.
Clark says small businesses should speak with their banks to try to secure funding, allowing them to stockpile goods or absorb some of the higher costs before passing them on to consumers. 71 degrees in Atlanta, warming up into the 80s by the end of the week. What about Easter Sunday? Meteorologist Christina Edwards has Atlanta Radio's only 5-day forecast coming up. A call today for immediate changes to the Georgia State Patrol's policy on high-speed chases.
Chases should not happen. Chases are not safe.
Atlanta City Council member Liliana Bakhtiari speaking this afternoon from a busy intersection in Little Five Points where a 19-year-old bystander was killed on Monday. His vehicle was in the path of a chase at the intersection of Moreland and McClendon Avenues. A criminal justice specialist with the Cobb County Sheriff's Office is fired and arrested after he's accused of molesting an 8-year-old girl.
Tragically, this was a relationship he started with the daughter of a family friend.
Officer Chuck McPhillamy with Marietta Police says Ivan Munoz is charged with 2 counts of aggravated child molestation. 2 people are dead after a shooting at an apartment complex in Henry County. Stockbridge police are called to the South Winds Point Apartments on Evergreen Way this afternoon. They confirmed to us 2 people are dead. Police are working to determine what led up to the shooting and no word yet on any suspects. The new Minecraft film is topping the box office, but theater owners in Metro Atlanta are frustrated by the mess some teenagers are leaving behind.
It starts out as a film adaptation of one of the most popular video games of all time, but by the end, some showings divulge into absolute chaos. Brent Goley owns the Spring Cinema and Tap House in Sandy Springs and says dozens of unsupervised teens at a packed showing take concessions airborne once the chicken jockey character appears.
There was salsa and ketchup on our movie screen. There was glassware that was thrown, people dumping full ices on people or throwing them at the wall.
He says he wants parents to be aware of their child's activity. Austin Eller, 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's Morris Brown College marks a milestone today, hosting its first honors convocation in more than 2 decades. School president Dr. Kevin James says it's a significant moment in the school's turnaround since Morris Brown regained its accreditation 3 years ago.
Right now, we are recruiting the best and the brightest faculty to teach here, and we're also recruiting the best and brightest students to attend here.
More than 100 students with GPAs above 3.0 receive honors awards. If you've had a hard time getting tickets to see the world-famous Savannah Bananas in person, you'll soon be able to watch their games on TV. ESPN and Disney Plus are teaming up with the Bananas for a new 10-game deal. Team owner Jesse Cole talks to 60 Minutes about why he only wears yellow tuxes in public.
It's something I believe in. It's standing out. It's being different. And if your owner is dressed up
up in a yellow tuxedo. I mean, I think that gives permission to everyone else to not take themselves too seriously, to have fun.
The Bananas recently played 3 games at Truist Park. The 10 games to air on TV begin in April and continue through August at MLB and football stadiums. It is now 5:34. This news sponsored by John Foy and Associates. Time for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Triple team traffic starts now with Alex Williams.
Brake lights aplenty on the north side perimeter. 285 westbound jammed up. You start to slow right at Chamblee-Dunwoody Road for the ride over into Sandy Springs past Roswell Road. Not much relief as you approach the I-75 interchange. You're going to stay on the brakes passing Truist Park southbound through Smyrna Vinings down to I-20. DeKalb County 285 east and southbound. Nothing but the brake lights glowing from Georgia 400 over to I-85 and Spaghetti Junction. You stay slow past that through Tucker down into Clarkston. Going to find relief from the brake pedal right around Memorial Drive. And we found a new crash on I-75 south of town, Kobe Dawkins.
Yeah, it's 75 southbound right at Highway 138, exit 228. Crash knocks out one left lane. And looking at your northbound rides, you're slowing and going past Bill Gardner Parkway to Jodico Road. From the Coolray Carrier Traffic Center, Triple Team Traffic, 95.5 WSB.
Now Atlanta Radio's only 5-day forecast with meteorologist Christina Edwards.
Clear skies this evening, sunset after 8 o'clock. Temperatures will be in the upper 60s at that time, continuing to cool into the mid-40s for tomorrow morning. Tomorrow afternoon, mostly sunny, high 76. Friday, mostly sunny, morning low 52, afternoon high 84. Warmer still on Saturday, morning low 60, afternoon high 85. Easter Sunday, partly cloudy, morning low 64, afternoon high 87.
72 in Snellville, 69 in Emerson, and 72 in Union City. More news at 6 o'clock. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Bill Caiaccio, 95.5 WSB.
Hey, it's Scott Slade with another big update from my friends at Myland. They've got a new mortgage available to those of you who own a rental home or investment property. This loan allows you to qualify based on the cash flow of the property. And that means you don't need to provide your income or employment like a traditional mortgage. It's special programs and industry knowledge like this that keep me talking about the abilities of my friends at Myland. Whether you're looking to buy a new home, refinance to lower your payment, or need to see how you can access the equity in your home to pay off other debts, do yourself a favor. Call my friends at Myland. Countless 5-star reviews and testimonials from homeowners just like you. Myland's been a top mortgage lender in Atlanta and a friend of mine for decades. Give Myland a call today. 770-817-2000. That's 770-817-2000. Online, it's myland.com. Spell it M-I-L-E-N-D. NMLS in Georgia residential mortgage licensee 148769. Located at 8995 West Side Parkway, Alpharetta, Georgia 30009. Myland is an equal housing lender.
Need inspiration? Shop Kroger for mouth-watering meals and appetizing ingredients. Our low prices add up to big savings, plus over $600 in digital coupons each week, and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. At Kroger, you always get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
You can save more with our weekly digital deals. Select boxes of Nabisco Ritz crackers are only $1.99 each with your digital coupon. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
The attorneys at Steel Horse Law meet directly with you. SteelHorseLaw.com.
Guys, if you're having ED or performance issues and Viagra and Cialis haven't worked, you need to come see Choice Men's Health. Give us a call or visit us online at ChoiceMen'sHealth.com. Get your love life back and choose Choice Men's Health.
Dave Baker here for Overhead Door Company of Atlanta. Let's talk garage doors. Your garage door, is it too loud? Does it let outside air in around the frame? Overhead Door Company of Atlanta will make it all better this month only, and for only $79, they'll perform their full 26-task garage door tune-up. That's just $79 for up to 3 garage doors and openers. You need this done once a year anyway, so why not now and for just $79? Schedule now at overheaddooratlanta.com.
Hey, congratulations to Alan Hanahan. That sounds like a name you'd hear like, come on down. Alan Hanahan.
You're on The Price is Right.
Come on down. He's from Atlanta. I've heard of it. Great city. And he saw the Nitty Gritty Band in Aspen. Little fun fact
He
for
wanted
you.
to let me know.
Congratulations. Alan won 2 tickets to see Nitty Gritty Dirt Band on Thursday, August 28th at the Atlanta Symphony Hall. Tickets are on sale right now at Ticketmaster.com. I have to...
Just laugh.
She loves any pause. Anytime I pause, she laughs.
No, not anytime. It was just
Anytime.
funny. You're like, where are you at?
You know.
Say it.
I never heard of this. I never heard of this Ticketmaster before.
Oh, see, that's
It's
what
a new one
tripped
on
you
me.
up. Okay.
Like what? They sell tickets at Ticketmaster?
He's used
Huh?
to Ticket King.
Ticketron, remember that one?
Weren't they absorbed by all these? Who came first? It was
they competed for a while.
Ticketron and Ticketmaster, and then
Yeah.
Ticketmaster bought Ticketron, and then Live Nation came along.
Live Nation.
And then somehow they ended up kind of controlling everything.
Yeah.
The venues, the artist. I think now Live Nation even reps artists. So it's everything.
American Express has their own version of Live Nation too now. Where
Yeah, but they work with Live Nation.
No, it's separate. It's
Really?
a whole different thing now.
Is that Axis, AXS?
Yes, and they have their own venues now too. So like Live Nation has venues, AXS has venues.
Because there used to be a channel on cable, AXS. Is that the same thing? It was about bands. It was usually
might be.
bands, rock bands.
There was a band called In Excess.
Well, I know that, but that's not
So-
AXS.
Were they represented by?
Let me ask you a question, just theoretically. Is it a bigger faux pas just to pause for a second or two, or just to bring up something that has nothing to do with what we're talking?
It absolutely has something to do with it. You're talking about bands.
I'd
There's
say the
an
latter.
X in it. We're all saying X.
You want to go down memory lane?
Yes.
I used to go buy my tickets at Turtles. How about that? For people who
Really?
grew up in
How
the-
old are you, Greg Russ? Have you been lying to us all these years? What did
There
you go
was
to
a
the
Turtles.
last
No, there
Turtles?
was a turtle. I went to a Turtles when I was a kid.
Turtles record store.
Yeah, it had
Correct.
tapes.
And
I
then
got
they expanded into rentals like Blockbuster.
Oh, that was a bad move.
Well, listen.
Well, it was a time when Blockbuster was growing. I don't know if it was that bad of a move, but Blockbuster eventually put them out of business, even though
All
they were
those,
also selling music.
All those places. Remember there was like this, was it called CD Warehouse?
Yep.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right. I do remember that.
That's how much the economy changes in just a couple of decades. Like Media Play. Like you can have a place called CD Warehouse. Huge place full of CDs.
Used and new. You could go
Yeah.
sell them there.
Yeah. And like an
And
old
then some
record store.
band T-shirts. That was cool.
Before
And
StubHubs.
posters.
I miss the old America.
I know.
have to
You
tell
could get that Dark Side of the Moon black T-shirt with the triangle and the rainbow.
And then the world knows you're
Prism.
cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
Before StubHub had like its huge online presence, it used to be a
They're
standalone.
great, but they're helping.
It used to be a standalone store where you would go and you'd have to bring the tickets you wanted to sell, and then you would go there and then buy
Didn't
them.
your brother work at something like that for a while?
He worked at a place called Empire Tickets,
Right.
which was in Buckhead.
Was that secondary tickets? Or?
It was, but there were a bunch of them. Now
Uh-huh.
Ticketmaster controls that whole market.
And it's just gotten worse and worse. Now
They buy their own tickets and then resell them.
Yes, I get, and then they put the dynamic pricing.
Yeah.
So they go in and buy their own, and then we don't have many left. I guess we'll have dynamic pricing. You know what? I never thought I'd say this because I understood in the beginning the idea of secondary markets being controlled was that the artist will now get some of the scalper money because before this. I never thought I'd say this. Bring back the scalpers.
Sure.
Who cares? How many artists were truly hurt because there was scalper got $250? Remember when they had scalpers saying, "Hey, you need 2 tickets?" Like we thought it was crazy. I spent $100 on a ticket. You know.
Remember that big guy that used to stand in front of every venue wearing the white shirt that said, "I need tickets"?
Yeah.
And he was at every show in Atlanta.
Every show, every race,
Yes.
everything, every event,
Yep.
basically. And you know what? Bring them back.
Yeah.
It was
Wasn't
better
it
then.
illegal? Also, there was always secretive.
Yeah, but you
Yeah.
you had to be a certain distance away from the venue.
That's
Okay,
right.
that was
and
the rule.
and Ted Nugent, after his shows back in the 70s and 80s, when he was having big shows, like at State Farm size places, he and his brother, I believe it was his brother, after the shows, they would like go undercover and stuff, and they would bust people who were selling fake merchandise,
Oh, really?
T-shirts that weren't official.
Carry a bow around with him.
I guess he did. I have no idea. But you know what? Let's go back to that. I'm thinking more and more. I miss the old America. I have to be honest with you. I hate this nonsense that we've become. We're just become nothing.
But the problem is people are paying all these prices. If they didn't, then the prices wouldn't exist. Why is everyone
Because they
willing-
have credit cards. They have credit cards, and so they go
And because
in
there doesn't
credit.
seem to be any other option, too.
Well,
for
you can not
shows,
go.
Yeah.
That's not an option.
Entertainment and leisure. It's not food. Food's a different thing. It's like prices are high, but I got to eat.
I maintain that I said this earlier in the week, I think. I maintain that, at least in rock and roll, what I know is rock and roll, pop, rock and roll, that a teenager with a part-time job should be able to afford a concert ticket. It's just like everything else in this country right now. If you've got the bucks and you can pay as much as you want and you don't have to worry about it, The market is always geared to you. And what would my life have been like if I had to have $150 when I was a teenager to see any, and even change it for inflation? So what would that be, 55 or whatever?
You would have been asking Mom for extra money to be able to go to the
Mom
show.
didn't have it.
You wouldn't have gone.
I wouldn't have gone.
No.
But you could have watched all the clips on YouTube after.
That's right.
If it was these days.
Kiss.
What about the case that kids don't want to see concerts, and the only people that do want to see concerts are the people who
Oldens?
can afford it?
I mean, there's
part
a
of that does
chicken. There's a
exist.
chicken and egg thing there. You'd start
Sure,
marketing
sure.
toward that because you know that the older set has disposable income. But I'm sorry, the Stones can't keep touring for another 20 years. They're going to run out of.
They'll have avatars.
Oh, well, yeah, but people are going to go. They'll go to like a symphony orchestra. I mean, they're not going to go to a huge place and watch Avatar, are they? Maybe they are.
Maybe.
I don't. Maybe they
Remember-
are.
remember
My
what
first
we paid-
first ticket I ever got in my life. I was 14 years old, and I was able to afford to see Kiss because the ticket was $7.50. I know that inflation. I know
See, I
that
don't
would
know
be.
what it's-
It would be
what
50.
a 14-year-old would want to go see these days.
They want to go see Taylor Swift.
Yes,
Sabrina
as far as
Carpenter.
bands go, it's harder, but there are artists they want
Yeah,
to see.
they want to see Taylor
Sure.
Swift.
Charlie XCX. There's
Yeah,
plenty
and
of
they-
artists.
Oh yeah,
this
you're
year.
right. I'm out of the loop. I don't know what
And
kids do.
so mom and dad have to pay these exorbitant prices to please their children. It's not what it's not accessible. Why isn't anything accessible without taking a line of credit available to the middle class?
There's so much. It's so much venue based here in Atlanta. Like if you go to a smaller venue, you can find those shows that are affordable, but it's going to be with an act that you're probably not familiar with.
Right. And
compared
every
to,
once in a while you get lucky because you know they're good before everybody else does.
Yeah, but
right?
that's a game. Though.
Last
They
show-
have-
That's it. Then it's over. Then the next time the tickets
Next
are
time they come around,
next time
it's
there's
super
a-
expensive.
Last show
We're
I
not
went to
getting
was
those-
15 or was $40, and I
What?
saw the Hard Quartet, which is the guy from Pavement,
Yes.
Stephen
Yes.
Malcolmus, and it was a great show, good opening band, but it was
Yeah.
only $45.
Well, that's what everything. I think if things stayed the same as the ticket prices that I was buying when I was younger, the basic concert ticket should cost between like $40 and $60. 40,
Make it
Getting
a
those
law.
Ringo Starr tickets. Remember we were talking about what a good deal they were because they were only $350
Which that's insane. That's insane.
compared to someone like Paul McCartney. That is
That's
much
a lot,
cheaper,
right,
But
yeah.
it is pretty crazy that for 4 tickets for a show that didn't.
I mean,
happen, we could get
Springsteen, his
refunded.
last
But it was
tour.
$1,500.
Was it this tour he's been on or the last one where he went into dynamic pricing? And he's the working man hero. That's his brand.
Oh,
He's the working man's hero.
My parents
when
went
we did
with
the Broadway show where the tickets were $250 a piece to
Yeah.
start.
Keep out the riffraff.
My parents went and saw Bruce Springsteen at State Farm, and they brought their friends, and the amount that they paid just to be somewhat close, I was.
Did you hear what I paid
shocked.
for 2 Flaming Lips tickets, Greg?
I did. I heard what the cost.
Repeat
and
it. I
that
don't
blows-
remember.
How.
You know what? After I said it, I'm like, how? I would, because it's there's nothing great about it. I mean, they're decent, but they end up costing I don't know over $600 ultimately.
For
when
two.
everything was for
I don't
two.
get it. And
Wow,
the-
all
the
the
secondary
services.
market.
I don't think it
You
was.
must have.
I must have been. It's dynamic pricing, and the whole time they're like, "You better hurry up, because this is about to sell out." Now, listen. Usually they have opening acts that they've discovered and they want you to discover. This time it's Modest Mouse, and they're basically playing the same size venue. So I get it. There's more people who want to
Where's the
go to
show?
this show. It's I don't want. I said it once before, and I don't want to. I don't want people to think I'm blaming the
How
venue.
big? How big of a venue?
It's I'll tell you off.
I'll look it up.
Yeah, just look it up. I'm not going after the venue. I'm just saying that the whole thing, it's like the economy. Everything is for the people who already have it. And I'm not envious of people who have what I don't have. And I know that I have more than a lot of other people. But products need to be accessible to the average person if you're going to point to that and call it a real economy. Alex Williams says there's a big jam on 85 between Duluth and Norcross.
All due to this travel advisory. Gwinnett Fire on scene. This crash, 85 southbound, Indian Trail Road, exit 101, just past the bridge there. 3 left lanes are blocked, and it is stacked up that ride back toward Pleasant Hill and Highway 316. Think about Buford Highway as an alternate. Northbound, you slow from Chamblee Tucker as well, up into the Norcross area. Heads up on the west side outer loop, we picked up a crash in the left lane, 285 southbound at Hollowell Parkway, exit 12. That's just adding to what's already a slow ride back up up into Smyrna Vinings, coming around from the Truist Park region. And we're still watching on trouble on I-75 in Cobb County. Kobe Dawkins.
It's a stalled big rig. I-75 southbound at Windy Hill Road, exit 260, adding to the delays back to I-575. And also some better news in Cherokee County. 575 southbound right before 6th Road, exit 11. Earlier left lane crash has cleared, and those delays are starting to improve. From the Cool Ray Carrier Traffic Center, Triple Team Traffic, 95.5 WSB.
Hey, Taxman got you down?
How about a $1,000 pickup?
Win $1,000. 5 different keywords. 5 chances every weekday.
I just won $1,000 on WSB.
The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz.
Beginning Monday, April 21st.
Download the WSB app. Rules and info at WSBradio.com/cash.
It's the active season here in the ATL. Are you going to be active or inactive because of chronic joint pain? Hey, it's Mark Aaron back from my pals at QC Kinetics. I want you to know something. The medical pros at QC Kinetics right here in Atlanta are on the case and focused to finally get you the relief you need. With QC Kinetics, the science solid. They give you your life back without surgery, without drugs, and without any downtime. Get out and be active this summer. Golfing, swimming, tennis. Heck, pickleball seems to be picking up speed. Get out there and be active. Don't let your chronic joint pain hold you back. Curious if you'd be a candidate for these treatments? No problem. Consultation totally free, and they're happy to take a look and see if they can help you finally get relief. Call now and find out how easy it is to get back to enjoying life without chronic joint pain. Now, the best time to get started. Call QC Kinetics now, 770-285-8026. That's 770-285-8026 for QC Kinetics.
News is temporary, but your financial plan shouldn't be. I'm Wes Moss, and at Capital Investment Advisors, we're focused on helping retirees invest for income. This means building and managing a portfolio that delivers a steady stream of income, regardless of the scary headlines of the day. If you're ready to shift your focus from the headlines to your core pursuits in retirement, reach out to our team at yourwealth.com. That's YOUR wealth.com.
Pro athletes and attorneys count on George Stein, the DUI lawyer. You can too. GeorgeStein.com.
As the old saying goes, size matters.
At Morgan & Morgan, we have over 1,000 lawyers and nearly 6,000 people on staff.
But at the core, this is and always has been a family business.
Our family watching out for your family.
Call us or email us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, even on a Saturday or a Sunday.
And if you ever have a problem, call our mom.
Morgan & Morgan.
For the people and your family.
Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
This is Scott Slade. When it comes to your engagement ring, there's only one place I'd recommend. Tara Fine Jewelry Company, known for exceptional standards, craftsmanship, and legendary customer service. Tara's passion runs through every design they craft. Engagement rings you'll be proud to gift, cherish, and wear for a lifetime. You fell in love with her because she's unlike any other woman in the world. When it comes to your promise of forever, only a Tara diamond will do. Tara, specializing in diamonds of absolute beauty and legendary customer service since 1985.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-478-6688. That's 1-800-478-6688. Or go to SelectQuote.com. 1-800-478-6688. That's 1-800-478-6688.
SelectQuote. We shop. You save. Full details on example policies at selectquote.com/commercials.
Has your driveway, sidewalk, or patio cracked and become uneven? AquaGuard Foundation Solutions can fix it. Simply book your appointment online at aquaguard.net and AquaGuard will quickly and expertly get it back in shape. Concrete issues? Remember, AquaGuard.
Well, when you saw the mugshot for that guy who ransacked the Pennsylvania governor's. Boy, when you saw that, I never would have thought a guy like that would do something crazy. Yeah. I want to look like Rasputin.
Yeah.
in 2025. This guy is definitely, you're not going to find one neighbor that says, I don't know, he just seemed like a normal.
Didn't he have kids and a wife?
I don't know, but he just, I
don't
saw
even
that.
understand.
Well, go ahead.
I don't even understand how this beard is working. Because the sides seem to be, they're flared and the hair is longer than the center of the beard. It's a weird stylistic choice.
Yeah, because he's crazy. So crazy people sometimes look crazy.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just see
Crazy.
a mugshot and you go, oh yeah, guilty.
I don't know. That might be the look for 2025. That kind of unkempt
Maybe he's
hair.
ahead of his time. Just a couple months ahead of his time.
It'll be the
possibility.
summer of that hair.
Do you see the inside of Shapiro's house, the governor's mansion?
It was all burnt.
Yeah.
So it's crazy.
He wanted to kidnap him and his kids.
How do you get in there? Is it that easy? I don't think you could do that here. I don't think you could get.
I don't think you could either.
I don't think. I think there's better security here. It was like 2:00 in the morning.
Something like that
And
overnight.
he climbed over this 9-foot wall or something. There's no my neighbors. If I walk near their yard after dark, a huge light comes on. They don't have like for Pennsylvania,
Like a floodlight?
Yeah. What is the security situation that you could actually get in there and do that much damage?
And they were there.
I know. Like, this is your state.
Well,
You were born there, were you not?
Governor Thornburg was a little more tight on security.
Okay.
Or no, Tom Ridge was the last governor before I moved.
My goodness. I just don't. I look at that and how is that? How can that even happen?
I'm looking at this governor's mansion, which also looks like a McMansion, like a big suburban home.
Yeah. Is it the
I don't
actual
know.
governor's mansion, or does he live in his own home with his family? I think it's the governor's mansion.
If it's the governor's mansion, looking at this, it actually kind of makes sense that you could have gotten in if you look up a picture.
I guess one time, remember that story about that guy that got into the queen's bedroom while she was sleeping? And I guess I guess it does happen.
Oh, my.
I just want everybody to know I have good security.
Not here in Georgia.
That's
That's
right.
not going to happen. The governor's mansion.
Damn right.
Brian Kemp, go out there. Yeah, you've seen the ads.
I got all them guns.
Greg Russ, we'll talk to you on Friday. Appreciate you, sir.
Thank you.
Alex Williams says there's a travel advisory on 85 in Norcross.
And Eric, I think you're bringing the good luck because they just towed away the cars here where we had 3 left lanes blocked. They still are until fire police clear the scene. 85 southbound Indian Trail Road, exit 101. Jam back to Highway 316. Buford Highway is the alternate to get you around that. And Marietta stalled Big Rig, 75 South Windy Hill, exit 260. That's still in a center lane, slowing the ride back through Marietta. Northbound, you're on the brakes too, up to Highway 5. And a left lane crash, 285 southbound, the Outer Loop Hollowell Parkway, exit 12. It's been a long, slow ride through downtown all afternoon, Kobe Dawkins.
Yeah, 75, 85 northbound. Those tough volume starts after Langford Parkway getting to 10th Street, and 75, 85 southbound. Seeing the brake lights stack in well before the downtown merge, getting to I-20. From the Coolray Carrier Traffic Center, Triple Team Traffic, 95.5 WSB.
Belinda here for Atlanta Vision Institute. I'm here to introduce you to a new procedure that Dr. Ashraf is performing called laser optics. This changed my life, folks. I was so tired of wearing contacts and glasses. The glasses were not around when I needed them. I had astigmatism, so the contacts didn't fit me well, and I had beginning stages of cataracts. So I went in. I was a great candidate for laser optics. It was a quick, painless procedure. The next day, it was like everything was in HD. The colors were more vibrant. The leaves were more vibrant. The sky was more vibrant. My husband was better looking. Everything was great. Laser optics with Dr. Ashraf, Atlanta Vision Institute. Go to the website 2020atlanta.com to find out more information. Also, take the quiz to see if this is a procedure that's good for you. Your medical insurance may cover it. That's 2020atlanta.com.
Your deck is more than just a place to flip a burger or have a cup of coffee. It gathers your friends and family on all your favorite occasions and is there to enjoy every day. Hi, I'm Scott Nelson, owner of Nelson Exteriors, and we build beautiful, high-quality decks at a reasonable price. We're licensed and insured, provide exceptional customer service, design help, and we'll work with the materials you want. Strength, durability, beauty. Decks done differently. Built by Nelson Exteriors. Get your free estimate. Google Nelson Exteriors.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Serving in the military requires great sacrifices, not just for one's country, but also for one's family. Not surprisingly, divorce for soldiers is especially difficult, and it raises a number of challenges that are peculiar to military divorce, things such as deployments, relocation, retirement benefits. These issues can be complicated. So if you're a soldier facing such challenges, go to CordellCordell.com.
404-793-0000, 1 Glen Lake Parkway Northeast, Atlanta.
Hey, if you've been thinking about selling your home, now is the time. With a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate, now you can sell your home fast and for more than you expect. Hey, Sean Hannity here. One of the most stressful things about selling your home is not being able to control the timing. Now, Mark Spain Real Estate, they allow you to receive an all-cash offer and close in as little as 21 days. Just go to markspain.com to find out what your guaranteed offer will be. That's markspain.com, and you can start packing.
It's Diamond Month at D. Geller & Son Jewelers, and that means this month, buying diamonds comes with even more diamonds. All through the month of April, when you spend $9.95 or more, you'll receive a pair of gorgeous hand-matched diamond studs absolutely free. Shopping for your wife? Tuck those studs away for your anniversary. Upgrading your ring? Surprise your daughter with her first pair of diamonds. No matter how you spin it, there's no better deal in jewelry than Diamond Month at D. Geller & Son Jewelers. All April long in Kennesaw, Sandy Springs, and online at dgeller.com.
WSB Atlanta, WSB BFM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's news and talk. News, weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's news and talk.
At 6 o'clock, I'm Bill Caiaccio. News sponsored by Mark Spain Real Estate. Our top local story, 2 days after a 19-year-old bystander is killed in Little Five Points, a call to end high-speed chases in Atlanta.
Stop the chase!
Just steps away from a growing memorial for Cooper Shanky, family friend Kate Weaver reading a statement.
This fatal accident could have been prevented.
Atlanta City Council member Liliana Bakhtiari, along with several state lawmakers, are calling for an end to the pursuits.
Chases should not happen. Chases are not safe.
In a statement, a spokesman for Governor Kemp saying in part, quote, those who break the law and act recklessly are to blame for the tragic and needless loss of these lives. In Little Five Points, Jonathan O'Brien, 95.5 WSB.
72 degrees in Atlanta, a big warm-up on the way heading into Easter weekend. Will it stay dry? Meteorologist Christina Edwards has Atlanta Radio's only 5-day forecast coming up. A local animal rights group says enough is enough after a horse is found dead on a downtown Atlanta sidewalk. WSB Steve Summers reports live to what they want from the city.
Yeah, Bill, the shocking discovery of that dead horse stirred anger and sadness. Now it's got a nonprofit called Georgia Animal Rights and Protection demanding a ban on recreational horseback riding in downtown and midtown. Group VP Julie Robertson says she's got video of people riding their horses recklessly.
People are bringing horses in and galloping up sidewalks, weaving the horses in and out of traffic.
Not only that, Robertson says urban noise and activity scares horses and pavement is hard on their hooves. Now, she sent me some of the video that she has shot of this going on, the going between traffic and galloping on sidewalks. You'll soon be able to see video of that horseback riding downtown Atlanta on our website, WSBradio.com. Reporting live, Steve Summers, 95.5 WSB.
We're learning more this hour about a deadly shooting in Henry County.
Police in Stockbridge are investigating a deadly double shooting that happened this afternoon at the Southwinds Point Apartments on Evergreen Way. Stockbridge police tell WSB that 2 people are dead. Details are sketchy right now. There's no information on if the suspect's in custody, a motive, or the names of the victims, and if there's a relation between the two. Authorities do say this investigation into this shooting is open and active. Michelle Wright, 95.5 WSB.
The father of the boy who is accused of shooting his classmates and teachers last September at Appalachia High School appears in court tomorrow asking for a change of venue.
It's believed to be just the second time in the nation a parent's been indicted for a school shooting when their child is the alleged shooter. In his motion, Colin Gray contends it's not possible for him to get a fair trial in Barrow County, where the community is so interconnected and pretrial publicity has broadcast alleged facts not in evidence. He's accused of giving his son access to the AR-15 style weapon used at Appalachia High. No word yet where lawyers propose moving the case, but I'm told both the defense and prosecution have some ideas. Colt Gray has also filed paperwork asking to move his trial. Veronica Waters, 95.5 WSB.
WSB Money Update. Stocks sink today after the chairman of the Federal Reserve says he expects inflation to rise and economic growth to slow due to tariffs. Bloomberg's Tom Busby reports on Wall Street's reaction.
That was not what Wall Street was hoping to
you hear. And although stocks closed off their lows, the Dow is still down 700 points today, 1.75%. The Nasdaq down 516. That's a 3% drop. And the S&P down 2.25%, 121.
Georgia businesses feel the impact of tariffs.
The first to feel the pressure of increased costs, Georgia's small businesses. Chris Clark with the Georgia Chamber of Commerce says the Chinese tariffs alone are driving up costs.
We've heard consistently from primarily retailers that the cost of supplies from their China distributors are creating disruptions for them and potential impacts on their revenue flows.
They're encouraging large businesses to stockpile goods up to 3 months. He says small businesses should start looking at their options for capital to see if they can do the same. Austin Eller, 95.5 WSB.
It is 6:04. The Von Hessler Doctrine continues in less than 2 minutes. Right now, Triple Team Traffic begins with Alex Williams.
Some better news for our commuters out of Duluth into Norcross. Crash cleared 85 southbound Indian Trail Road, exit 101. That will help those brake lights thin out back at Highway 316. Also better news in Cobb County. We had a stall clear 75 southbound. It was a stalled big rig in the center lane right around Windy Hill Road, exit 260. Again, all lanes back open there. It's getting extra slow, though, 75 northbound up through Marietta. Just found the reason why. It's a left lane crash, 75 northbound approaching Highway 5, exit number 267. That's going to slow the ride even more so back to 285 in Truist Park. Been watching a crash on 285 over on the west side, Kobe Dawkins.
It's 285 southbound, the outer loop at Highway 78, exit 12. That crash continues to knock out one left lane, adding to the delays back to the Cobb Cloverleaf I-75. From the Cool Ray Carrier Traffic Center, Triple Team Traffic, 95.5 WSB.
Now Atlanta Radio's only 5-day forecast, sponsored by Shoemate, the official air conditioning of Atlanta. Here's WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards.
Clear skies this evening. Sunset after 8 o'clock. Temperatures will be in the upper 60s at that time, continuing to cool into the mid-40s for tomorrow morning. Tomorrow afternoon, mostly sunny, high 76. Friday, mostly sunny, morning low 52, afternoon high 84. Warmer still on Saturday, morning low 60, afternoon high 85. Easter Sunday, partly cloudy, morning low 64, afternoon high 87.
71 in Stone Mountain, 69 in Sandy Springs, 73 in Palmetto. More news at 6:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Bill Caiaccio, 95.5 WSB.
There it is, Caiaccio. Hour 4 of the Von Hessler Doctrine begins right now. Dr. Joe's up with us here in a moment. I have questions for him about Donald Trump, actually.
Oh,
so
exciting.
Let's do this the proper way. Let's do this.
It's time for Wellness Wednesday with Dr. Joe.
I lost another one.
I don't treat
the way
Donald
it
Trump,
goes.
so he's still alive. Yeah, see.
By the way, some programming changes here. I had teased that I was going to do a reading from the book Fight. Yeah, I don't feel like doing that today, so we'll do it tomorrow.
Oh, another tease.
Another tease, a double tease. And also Trump thumbs up, thumbs down. We're going to push that off as well because I'm just not in the mood today.
Well, Trump called it earlier. He said they'd all be thumbs up.
Everything's a thumbs up with me.
100%.
I get the more thumbs up than all of Siskel and Ebert's favorite movies.
I'm just not feeling it in the political commentary area today. So let's get goofy.
I don't need your. I don't need it.
You don't need it. You don't need the trouble. I don't.
You
think
got Dr. Joe.
You like Dr. Joe?
I love him. He's great.
All right. Dr. Joe, I saw a story today where a couple times in the last few weeks, Donald Trump, they noticed. I think the last time was he was holding the trophy with one of the championship teams that were there. He's got a bruise on, I think it's his right hand, and some are speculating that he's getting some sort of IV. Would that be consistent with an IV?
Sure.
Now, why would he be taking an IV? Well, I mean, if he's going to take vitamins or whatever, a pick-me-up, why didn't he just take a pill? Or
Well, as you get older, you don't absorb things as well as you used to, and he's not
Tell
as
me
great.
about it.
Yeah, like something like is it called a CPAC?
No, that would be that medicine I think you're talking about. But that could be glutathione, vitamin C.
Right.
There's something called Myers cocktails, so you can do different
Maybe
things.
the light. Maybe I putting the light
I
up
had
in the
COVID. They put the liquid, the light bleach, the bleach in your arm. You know, the IV, the light.
Gone.
So of course, it's
Gone.
not something that anybody can just ask a question and get a straight answer
Yeah.
because that's just not the way things work.
But
these
there's nothing
days.
wrong
So
with it. In fact, it's actually something I think that's good.
It's
Especially
good that
if
he's getting the IVs.
He does a lot of diet sodas. I don't like that.
Well, I mean, he's
like the Diet Coke
preserving.
button?
We just said this the other day. The doctor, the White House doctor, just pronounced him fit as a
Yes.
fiddle and all that. And to which my takeaway is, then the doctor is telling me it's just not possible to drink too much Diet Coke.
Right, you can do as much as you want.
It just
and
doesn't have any ill
no
effects.
adverse effects.
The comparisons on Instagram and X between that and Donald Trump's weight and size are hilarious because he's basically the same size as DK Metcalf of the Steelers.
Yeah,
now.
right.
And they're like, this guy apparently is fully healthy, but this guy over here, we don't know whether or not he's truly healthy or
Now,
not.
hold on. Wait a minute. Are you telling me that he's the same height and
Yeah,
weight?
he's about the same, around,
Yeah,
relatively.
6'2", 240, whatever it was.
Yes,
Yeah,
he's
so-
relatively the same height and weight as
It's
DK
all
Metcalf.
muscle.
Who again people knew from the Seahawks for so long, but they're
Right.
like, okay, somebody's not telling the truth here on who's.
Well, maybe you
truly
should
healthy.
play for. Is it Pittsburgh? Where'd he go?
Yeah, he went to the Steelers.
I could quarterback for the Steelers, get them to the playoffs, maybe even the Super Bowl, but I'm busy.
You know that
Kinda busy.
Donald Trump almost bought the Bills.
Well, they wouldn't let
years
me.
ago, and that just would have. Just seeing his style.
Isn't that why he bought the Generals?
Yes.
Okay.
You know, going to the USFL. But I think even later than that, though, I think he's still somewhere in the 2000s, with the whole Bon Jovi time. I think maybe he was thinking about it then. But looking at his leadership style, you just know if your quarterback had a bad day, he'd be out there tweeting. You gotta do better.
Jim Kelly is lazy.
What you really need is this is what helps a locker room. Discord. you need a locker room that doesn't know what's happening next.
Who's really starting to get running back
That's
next week?
well,
Well, it won't be Thurman Thomas. I don't want that ball dropped all over the place.
All right, so Dr. Joe. So it's whatever it is. It's probably an IV, and it's probably a good thing.
And I'm probably fine with it, yes.
You're
Okay.
probably fine with
I
it.
don't know
If you
what-
knew all the...
Yes, if I knew the deets, I would definitely say yes.
You gotta see Donald's chart over there, right?
I,
So that way you
I can
know.
read his chart and I'll say, okay, this is that.
Has he gained any weight since the last one? His last year? Or
They didn't say whether he gained it
seems
or
like
not.
he's a little bit larger. Those ties get a little bit longer.
They are so
the belly,
long.
He has the longest ties. I think
It's
it's 'cause-
really odd. Is it a style that is just not hip anymore?
I
or-
don't know, but I feel like he it looks like he's using it as a way to look slimmer. Is that
Yeah, to, like,
make him look
elongate
longer,
himself?
yeah. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's supposed to touch the top of your belt, the tie. So
But
you just have to make...
his comes down further than the belt.
Yeah, and that's not
sometimes.
right.
It's
yeah,
past his knees.
that's bad fashion.
Well,
It's like an
Marjorie
elephant's
Taylor
trunk.
Greene says she thinks it's the best looking.
I think it's a great look. So
Yeah.
slimming.
Yeah, so fantastic.
And you with those thighs, amazing.
Yeah,
I know. I could squeeze a melon in half.
Okay.
Hey, look, the reporter you love is coming into the. Is she still
Oh,
going with the
hello.
Newsmax guy? Is it Newsmax or?
Oh, that's right. We do CrossFit
Bryant?
together. We do those herky-jerky pull-ups.
Little excitement at her town hall yesterday.
Yeah. Can I tell you something? I don't want to
Somebody
hurt
got
this.
tased?
I don't want to hurt this man's feelings, the way he hurt Zelensky's feelings in the White House.
Oh,
But
you wear a suit?
I think he's outkicked his coverage. I gotta be. When I saw him, I expected him to be kind of handsome.
No, he's frumpy.
Yeah, like what's she works out constantly and
Yeah.
like
CrossFit.
She's like Autumn. Autumn likes a little give me a little flesh.
Well, maybe he likes to watch when they're doing their.
Oh, now, come on!
You have to consider
you're
everything.
Trying to
You have to consider
that
everything.
was Tim Andrews, Marjorie. I want you to know that wasn't the host of the show.
Hey, what? I don't even know what he's talking about.
Sure.
Explain it explicitly to me right now.
Well, unfortunately, there's a FCC.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, listen. All I care about is lawyers, and I just want you to know that was Tim Andrews. That wasn't
That's
me.
right.
All right,
I love my man. He rolls me up on one of them carpets from Dalton, and we go for it.
He does, or do you do it to him?
Either we switch, reverse.
All right, Dr. Joe. Let's get off of this
Adult conversation.
Where politics meets cuckold.
Yes.
Discussion that we somehow found ourselves
My
on.
carpet cuckold.
Eric's falling
All
over.
right, that was so funny. You can sue me. It's fine.
There you go, yes.
That's fine.
Everybody's
All right.
got their thing, Eric. That's what it is. Everybody's got their thing.
Okay, do you have a thing called a story for
Ooh.
Dr. Joe before we go?
I was
easy
excited. I
now.
was like, what's Jared's thing?
I'm teasing that tomorrow as well. We'll do that on Friday.
Jared's thing.
Oh, from Barron's, which you wouldn't expect them to jump into
Yeah,
the
that's-
wellness area.
Hold on. Barron's, that is the newspaper run by Donald Trump's youngest son.
Youngest son, yeah. Mhm.
I believe it
Barron's.
is.
Great job.
Uh-huh.
It's a competitor to the Wall Street Journal.
It
for
is.
those parts.
Who
Yes.
owns it? Is it?
I think it's, well, it ain't Bloomberg because
All
he's
the
got his own.
Barons.
Yeah.
I believe it's got Wall Street Journal markings on top. So I
They
believe
may
own
have
them.
bought it. Yeah, Murdoch, I think, bought it at some point.
But I'm not sure if Dr. Joe has heard of the trend looks maxing before. There are lots of influencers that often try to promote how pretty they look, whether they're male or female, and it's called looks maxing. And people are calling it this
dangerous.
toxic trend. They're saying that it's because it's unattainable. You
know what I don't
really
like
reach that.
about this article that I read about this? Is then they turn it into some sort of thing like it's with the incel world and it's dangerous to women. And I don't put those two things together. It's just idiotic. And by the way, women have been taking an hour to put their face on forever.
Now
right?
we can.
So is that toxic? I find it toxic. I don't like kissing people who have makeup
with the
on.
makeup and the perfume.
Yeah,
Oh my
I can't
God.
stand
Yeah.
it.
You're eating all that talc or
Yeah,
whatever
no,
that is.
thank you very much.
Yes.
You're thinking about the oldest women in the world.
Oh,
not
you like my
young
mom's
women
friends?
who don't need
Yeah,
all
right.
the makeup.
My
you know?
mom's
Here, honey.
Yeah.
Give me some sugar.
Why don't you get Aunt Jenny another vermouth?
Can you hold my ashtray?
You're right. Most of these women did have beehives.
Are you sweating or bleeding?
I'm going to give Aunt Jenny a kiss
Why
or
don't you
not?
get close and find out, honey?
So the legitimate part of this is that people are watching these influencers, and somehow these guys are like taking hammers and banging their
I didn't get that.
jawlines
Yes.
and all that.
Yeah.
That is stupid and dangerous. But connecting it to bro world and incel culture.
Yeah, bro world is different. Like the people that are doing that to their face that are men are targeting a totally different audience than the bro world.
That's what I'm saying. If a guy is hitting himself in the face with a hammer, he's hurting somebody, but it's not women.
Yeah.
Well, do you remember Greg's story about him like breaking his
Oh,
own
he broke his nose.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, I mean,
But he was in
not
like
far
seven-
off from what you're talking
He
about.
was like in seventh grade.
I was Lexmax.
He was Lexmax.
The original.
He was on a school field trip
Yeah.
on a bus, and in one of the buses that he got tired of people making fun of the size of his nose. I think he was in like 7th or 8th grade. And it was one of those buses that has a bar on the back of each seat that's in front of you. And so the entire ride, and it was a long one. I mean, they might have been going to D.C. or something. I don't know. He smashed his face up against it to try to, because he didn't like that there was a bump in his
trying to
nose.
flatten it out.
And he was trying to get rid of the bump. So I guess, yeah, he was the original looks maxer.
Yeah, he was trendy before.
Greg
it was trendy.
Russ.
Who knew?
Who knew that he was going to be an influencer in the future? But can you tell us right now for sure that if you ever find yourself using a hammer against your face, you're probably not involved in getting healthier?
I think that's an issue there. Yeah, and I don't know what the hammer does. Does it swell you up and make your jaw look bigger?
Look into it, George. You're not busy enough back there.
Get a hammer,
You don't
George. You're young.
Are they just like reshaping it?
You got to reshape that cartilage on
I
your
think-
face.
That's it. Yeah, but that's bone. That's
There's
not
no-
cartilage
where's the
down
cartilage?
there. Cartilage
Yeah.
is in your nose. There's
We
no
got to
cartilage.
look into this. There's a reason they're doing it, because
Call Greg.
obviously, huh?
Call Greg.
Call Greg.
Yes.
He's our. hey, call Greg over at the looks maxing desk. Alex Williams says there's a crash on 75 in Marietta.
And it's been a hot spot this afternoon, and it continues, Eric. This left lane crash, we see it on the Jam Cam 75 northbound Highway 5, the Canton Road connector, exit 267. Keeping you on those brakes back toward Delk Road and Windy Hill. 400 northbound, still slow out of through Sandy Springs from 285 to the North Springs MARTA station. 85 south in Gwinnett recovered nicely in Norcross with that crash gone at Indian Trail Road. And on the 285 side of things, we're seeing brake lights 285 east and southbound still in DeKalb, starting at Georgia 400, and no relief from that brake pedal till you get to Highway 78, the Stone Mountain Freeway in Clarkston. Also been watching a crash on 285 over on the west side, Kobe Dawkins.
285 southbound, the outer loop right at Highway 78, exit 12. Crash remains in the left lane. Still seeing those tough delays stretching back to I-75. From the Cool Ray Carrier Traffic Center, Triple Team Traffic, 95.5 WSB.
Mark Arum.
What did you do last week?
He knows Atlanta.
It hasn't happened here.
And Atlanta knows him.
I'm a simple man with simple needs.
Mark Arum.
Like the new boss comes in and says, we're starting all over here.
Tomorrow at 9 a.m. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Hey y'all, Belinda Skelton for Four Seasons Home Care, and I'm not going to cry in this commercial, I hope. As many of you know, I lost both my parents recently, but I am so thankful they were able to finish their lives at home where they wanted to be. It's all because of the incredible caregivers who came to see them every day. I am so grateful to Four Seasons Home Care. This is a real family-owned company that vets and hires every single one of their caregiving specialists. They don't have contractors. They're not some national corporation. They are simply the best here in Georgia. And a lot of you have asked me about my journey and if home care is right for your aging parents. I'll tell you what I tell them. Call Four Seasons Home Care and just start the conversation. It's a 100% free call that can change everything. Google Four Seasons Home Care Atlanta. That's Four Seasons Home Care Atlanta.
At CertaPro Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder, or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter, or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights, at home or at work. We'll make your happy place your own. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
Trust isn't a given. It's earned. And when you're in need after a wreck, trust someone I know will work for you. John Foy and Associates. It's Smiler Mark McKay. John Foy is compassionate and will treat you with respect. Don't go it alone. Go with the guy I personally recommend. JohnFoy.com.
Are you looking for an easy way to get a daily detox? Active Liver is the easy way to get a daily detox to keep you healthy and feeling your best. You can find Active Liver in the vitamin aisle at your local CVS or online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com.
It's just a little aging here. It's okay. A little ADD, I think.
Something like that. Between the two, the aging and the ADD.
Add. You got AADD. Yeah.
How come they have the H in there now, but I don't know what that...
Hyperactivity.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm not going to get into that.
No.
People get angry. Start talking about that. So you found what looks maxing actually is,
Well, I
George.
found out about bone smashing. You guys
Okay.
were wondering about that.
Yeah, when they take a hammer.
The idea that you would take a hammer to your jaw and it would then heal back in a more manly shape. And kind of,
So you're breaking...
Yeah,
What else does that
your
work
bones
on?
get thicker when you break them. So I guess that's the idea. But
those aren't real bones.
Okay.
We're
That's just a phrase.
That's
Yeah.
the phrase.
All right.
It says in the article that this isn't really actually going on. It's more of like an inside joke with people that this is the extreme version.
But as an influencer, that would be a bad influence if you were telling people as a joke to take a hammer to their face.
Well, I think they're suggesting, this could be the extreme levels that we could go to, but we don't actually. It's more of a joke.
Now, see, Jared was afraid to bring this up, and I'm not afraid to bring it up because we love everybody on this show. But he thinks that it's less bro culture and more gay culture.
Yes,
All right.
I do. I feel like it's more targeted towards that.
And
part.
by the way, when you say gay culture, you mean like a small percentage of gay culture, but being that.
I think the tie-in with like the incels is that they believe that women are shallow and that you've got to be a good-looking and raise your
but I don't
sexual
buy
market
that.
value.
I don't buy that. I don't buy that because if you hate women, why would you go out of your way to try to impress women?
Or more that they're simple and that your sexual market value is increased when you do these looks maxing techniques, and therefore you get more girls that you sleep with and leave.
Things were better, I think, back when the
simpler.
time came and Dad just took his son, maybe 16, 17 years old, and just paid for a prostitute.
That's it. Get it over with. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, at a brothel or something, go to Vegas.
There's a
just and I guess they'd have to be 18 in Vegas, but it's in a lot of cultures. It's in a lot of cultures that's what you do because the understanding is the first time is just awkward and weird and you're afraid. And I don't know if that's more for men than women, or maybe now things are different, but maybe there was more expectations. I have no idea, but it was the greatest idea in the world. As long as you knew that it was a real brothel and everything was as healthy as could be, it was the greatest idea to go in there, get that over with, so that the next time when you really care about the person, all of this nervousness will be gone. At least that kind of nervousness.
See the dad. Let me see these certifications.
Yeah.
Are you guys a licensed brothel?
And the whole thing about the incels are afraid to get laid, right?
I've said this before. Incels used to have a place in society. They turned to monks. They were like wizards that lived in the, they were like wizards that lived in the woods and stuff. And they were soldiers on the front lines. There was a time for these people, and now we don't really have that anymore. So now they're just stuck in a basement with a computer.
The reason that they're incels is because they're afraid to go through with it. listen, there are some guys.
But don't you think that there's a drive enough inside men that they can overcome that?
Involuntarily celibate. I don't.
Absolutely.
Who is involuntarily?
Most people, yes. And then there are some guys. I only have a guy's brain. I don't have a male brain. That's all I know. But I know that I have some friends when I was younger who was just easy peasy. I wasn't Jared Yamamoto's friend, but it's just like easy peasy. But for most guys, there was at least 2 or 3 different times that I was making out when I was a teenager, or almost making out, and I would talk myself out of it. Why? Because I was scared. I was afraid. And I think that there's...
see, that's where you got to lean in.
You're in it. There's always guys like you who have no problem with it, but I would venture that more people are truly afraid. Now, out of them, an awful lot of them want what they want enough to go, well, I'm just going to have to go through this and see what it does. But the fear, and I don't know why, I guess no group in America or in the world right now ever wants to admit, well, it's really on me. It's my weakness. I'm just afraid to do this. I'm afraid to go through it. I'm afraid I'm not going to be good at it. All of that. There's no war that started on guys who couldn't get laid. When did that war start? I mean, it's a total. If you talk about pranking, I kind of feel like the whole incel thing is now become this sort of, oh yeah, I'm an incel and I believe in these. I don't even know if I believe these people. I don't even know if I believe them. But I know enough as a guy and having a brain that is a male brain that the reason that people are incels is because they're afraid to go through the first experience.
Are you sure your brain identifies as male? Your brain can be different from your junk.
Incel used to mean virgin.
Right. You say virgin.
Yeah, but they don't say that
We had
anymore.
a great comedy.
They
the
turned it into
40-year-old
a thing.
virgin.
Right. They turned it into a thing. They're a subset.
They own it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
and that could be like a continuation of it too, because if you're awkward and maybe you're on some sort of spectrum-y or something, and then you don't have friends that it's more difficult for you, and then you stay a virgin for too long, and then you find out that there's a word for it, and then you're like, oh, I'm a part of a community, and
right?
So it becomes more of an identity.
That makes sense, but it's not. It's like when you see people. I'm from the Pedestrian Society of Atlanta. They're like, do you drive? Yeah, of course I have a car. It's like, well, you can be an incel and be part of this culture, but the moment you get laid, you're out of that club.
You got no friends anymore now.
Yeah, my friends.
It was only once.
I was thinking about you guys the whole time.
I got weak. Alex Williams says there's a crash on 285 on the west side.
Yeah, they put the cones out behind this one. Makes me think it's going to be there for a few minutes. Left lane knocked out. 285 southbound, the outer loop, Hollowell Parkway, exit 12. You're slow back through Smyrna Vinings. 285 eastbound, the inner loop on the north side. Still seeing the brake lights leaving 400 for the ride into Doraville. How are we looking through Midtown and downtown, Kobe Dawkins?
Well, jammed rides, 75-85 northbound. It starts to get slow past Langford Parkway almost to 10th Street. 85 south, heavy volume remains starting at the Georgia 400 merge. And 75 south, tough delays begin just past Morris Mill Road, both getting to I-20. Traffic brought to you by Reliable Heating and Air. Stop paying for expensive heating and air repairs or home warranties. Get a reliable protection plan for just $14.99 a month and enjoy 100% parts and labor coverage for any age system, make, or model. Triple Team Traffic, 95.5 WSB.
Looking for a great dining memory, y'all? Hey, it's Belinda. I love the amazing Southern food and service at Old Vinings Inn. If you haven't been there yet, you're missing out. Nestled in the heart of Vinings, that charming house offers a cozy, upscale, and welcoming atmosphere, perfect for any occasion. Romantic dinner, baby or bridal shower, business dinner, night out with friends. Old Vinings Inn has you covered. Indulge in delectable Southern cuisine, crafted with the freshest ingredients. Savor their signature fried green tomatoes and fried chicken, or delight in the rich flavors of my favorite, shrimp and grits. Everything on the menu is a winner. You thirsty? The curated wine list and handcrafted cocktails are sure to impress. Enjoy all that plus live entertainment and specials at the Attic Bar. Wednesday through Saturday nights. Ready for fun and flavor now, y'all? Open for lunch and brunch Thursday through Sunday and dinner Wednesday through Saturday. Reserve your table or large groups today at Old Vinings Inn.
Cancer upends your life. We're doing all we can to change that. At Winship Cancer Institute of Emory University, we're reimagining the care experience to ease the burden of cancer. With experts in your cancer and the research, trials, and treatments you can only get here. All so you can focus on what matters most, the best chance of living a full life. Winship Cancer Institute of Emory University. Cancer care designed around you and your life. EmoryHealthcare.org/Winship.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is the largest family law firm in the country with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. That does give us certain advantages, for example, in experience and resources. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. If you're a guy facing divorce, remember, Cordell & Cordell, a partner you can count on.
404-793-0000, 1 Glen Lake Parkway Northeast, Atlanta. I'm consumer investigator Dale Cardwell, and for over a decade, I've trusted America's best choice for windows, doors, siding, and decks.
Spring is the perfect time to update your home, and America's Best Choice makes it easy with these spring specials. Highest quality, energy-efficient windows starting at just $299. Take 10% off a new deck and create the outdoor oasis of your dreams. No pressure, no gimmicks. Visit abcwin.com today to schedule your free consultation.
If you're in the market as a home buyer or seller, there's a lot of noise out there and a lot of options. Should you find a company to buy your home or accept a guaranteed cash offer or do a traditional sale? Each of these has an upside and each has a downside. Hi, I'm Deborah Morton, founder of Clario Real Estate. My team and I can offer all of these and we help our clients sort through these choices every day. If you're thinking of buying or selling a home in the next 6 to 12 months, we can give you clarity so you can decide with confidence. My team and I are the experts. We have helped hundreds of families move and are ranked in the top 5% nationally. At Clario Real Estate, we can provide clarity on the best approach for you. Oh, and I'm also the real estate expert and host of the show Inside Georgia Real Estate, airing right here every Saturday at 1 p.m. Go to InsideGeorgiaRealEstate.com and tune in this Saturday at 1 p.m. for more. Clario Real Estate, real clarity, real certainty for the real value of your home.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
At 6:30, I'm Bill Caiaccio, news sponsored by the Lloyd Advisory Group. Our top story, a WSB money update, a rough day for your portfolio after the chairman of the Federal Reserve says he expects inflation to rise and economic growth to slow due to tariffs.
Tariffs are highly likely to generate at least a temporary rise in inflation. The inflationary effects could also be more persistent.
The Dow finishes the day down almost 700 points. The S&P drops over 2%. NASDAQ closes the day down more than 3%. Now to the impact on Georgia businesses who are feeling the impact of tariffs on Chinese imports. Georgia Chamber of Commerce President Chris Clark says they are hearing from businesses experiencing challenges from increased costs.
When you've got a small mom-and-pop organization on Main Street in downtown rural Georgia, and 100% of their product is an import product that they're repackaging or selling, this is going to hurt them first.
They are encouraging Georgia businesses to find alternate trade routes and stockpile goods while the 90-day tariff pause is in effect for countries other than China. 73 degrees in Atlanta, 80s return by the end of the week. And what about our rain chances for Easter Sunday? Atlanta Radio's only 5-day forecast with meteorologist Christina Edwards is coming up. After a 19-year-old innocent driver is killed in Little 5 Points, a call today to end high-speed chases in Atlanta.
We have the technology and the ability to apprehend people who are committing illegal acts and speeding in these communities without exacerbating the situation. Pit moves by GSP are not safe.
Atlanta City Council member Liliana Bakhtiari joins with other local lawmakers and activists calling on the Georgia State Patrol to change their policies on chases. Governor Kemp is pushing back, saying those who break the law and act recklessly are to blame for the tragic and needless loss of these lives. The man who killed an innocent driver during a high-speed chase in Atlanta last April will spend the rest of his life in prison. A Fulton County jury takes less than 3 hours today to find Ryan Hicks guilty of felony murder. Prosecutors say he was going almost 100 miles per hour before the crash at the intersection of Campbellton and Barge Roads. Tamara Taylor was killed as the Georgia State Patrol chased Hicks. He ran a red light and crashed into Taylor. An employee with the Cobb County Sheriff's Office is arrested and fired after he's accused of molesting a little girl.
The suspect was a criminal justice specialist for the Sheriff's Department, where he had been employed since 2000.
44-year-old Ivan Soto Muniz is now booked in and being
being housed in the Cobb County Adult Detention Center without bond.
Chuck McPhillamy with Marietta Police says Munoz is charged with 2 counts of aggravated child molestation. He says Munoz was a family friend of the 8-year-old female victim in this case. She came forward to share her story with leaders at her church. That prompted the swift investigation and arrest. Graham Carroll, 95.5 WSB.
A federal judge finds probable cause to hold the Trump administration in criminal contempt over deportation flights.
The finding follows the administration's refusal to follow the judge's order to turn around the planes that were carrying Venezuelan migrants to a prison in El Salvador. While the White House plans to appeal, Loyola law professor Lori Levinson says this is just the beginning.
We are moving closer and very quickly to a real conflict between the courts and the administration.
The judge says the migrants did not receive due process. The White House says the president is protecting the country. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
Rowdy groups of teenagers are turning showings of the popular new Minecraft film into chaos. After the chicken jockey appears, the teens throw popcorn, pizza, ices, and salsa into the air.
I mean, that's what it reminds me of a food fight in a lunchroom as a kid.
Brant Gully with the Spring Cinema and Tap House in Sandy Springs says it takes hours to clean up the mess. Metro Atlanta theater owners want parents to get involved. It is now 6:34, time for live team coverage of traffic and weather, and Triple Team Traffic begins with Alex Williams.
Still watching this crash in the left lane, not going anywhere anytime soon. 285 southbound, the outer loop, Hollowell Parkway, exit 12. That's keeping the ride slow back toward I-75 in Cobb County. Just blocked all lanes and reopened them on the southeast leg of the perimeter. Got a crash off to the right, 285 eastbound, the outer loop between Boulder Crest Road and Flat Shoals. And if you're traveling I-20 eastbound into Cobb County, we're still seeing some brake lights through the work zone from Wesley Chapel Road, but braking free at exit 71, Panola Road. We've had our eyes on a crash in Cobb County on I-75. Watching that, it's Kobe Dawkins.
75 northbound right at Highway 5, exit 267. Crash continues to knock out one left lane. Still seeing those delays back to Delk Road. From the Coolray Carrier Traffic Center, Triple Team Traffic, 95.5 WSB.
Now Atlanta Radio's only 5-day forecast with meteorologist Christina Edwards.
Clear skies this evening. Sunset after 8 o'clock. Temperatures will be in the upper 60s at that time, continuing to cool into the mid-40s for tomorrow morning. Tomorrow afternoon, mostly sunny, high 76. Friday, mostly sunny, morning low 52, afternoon high 84. Warmer still on Saturday, morning low 60, afternoon high 85. Easter Sunday, partly cloudy, morning low 64, afternoon high 87.
71 right now in Noonan. It's 73 in Midtown Atlanta and 67 in Dunwoody. More news at 7 o'clock. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Bill Caiaccio, 95.5 WSB.
It only happens once a year. It's always fun. It's our signature Sign and Drive event. All you got to do is sign and drive with no money down and no payments for 90 days. Plus, at Beaver Toyota, you'll receive exclusive Beaver benefits with your new car. Benefits like no-charge oil changes and car washes. And yes, even complimentary loaner cars and a lifetime powertrain warranty. It's our annual Sign and Drive event. Now, this is the way car buying should be. Only at Beaver Toyota. We're here to wow you.
Coming up from the Atlanta Symphony Orchestra, a Delta classical concert featuring an all-Italian program of Respighi, Paganini, and Bottesini. Explore Italia in Respighi's Pines of Rome and Fountains of Rome. And experience Italian sensation Giuseppe Gibbone perform Paganini's Violin Concerto No. 1. The program fans the flames with a concert opener by Bottesini, May 1st and 3rd at Symphony Hall. Details at aso.org.
Motorcycle riders are a different breed and they need a different type of attorney. SteelHorseLaw.com.
Now open at 54 Bullsboro Drive, Home Outlet Noonan. Break up with your big box store and discover a better way to tackle home improvement. Employee-owned Home Outlet delivers the guaranteed lowest prices on a wide selection of quality in-stock kitchens, baths, floors, and more. Take advantage of our free services, including expert kitchen planning and accurate estimates for baths, floors, doors, and windows. Shop in-store or online at homeoutlet.com.
Home Outlet is your home store.
Interesting life, but basically unknown. Who's going to buy that book?
Unlike you. Interesting life. Very well known.
In a small pocket
of
humanity called the greater metro area of Atlanta.
Oh, it's weird. Once you get past Locust Grove, there are some neighbors that live down in Macon, and they're buddies with these other neighbors in Locust Grove. Locust Grove, They know Eric Von Hessler.
Once you get to Macon.
Like, who the hell are you talking about?
I don't know that guy.
I'm very famous in a 60-mile radius.
That's it.
So I have this great life story that would be a fantastic book, but not enough people know.
Well, if you sell 30,000 copies of it to every one of your listeners, you should be good.
My listeners?
They
I love my listeners.
They ain't buying your book, huh?
I don't think it'd be buying
You have to narrate the audiobook.
Oh, won't that be fun?
Yeah, you can do it. George will help you.
Got to practice the low voice.
Yeah, the low voice.
Low voice. I would hide.
I've been too high voiced lately. I got to do something about that. Yeah, I've been up here.
Different microphone.
No, oh, you think just make it
That's
up?
what Stern does.
Filter it.
You heard early Stern.
So
He
it
was
is-
up here like talking like this.
That's true.
Now he's all like this.
There you go.
How much of that is the microphone?
Some of it,
Some
a
of it
lot of
could
it's
just be the-
affectation, but
Right.
he
Could
never
be him.
smoked, so.
Could be him learning over the years.
In a sense.
In a sense.
What you...
Well, you're getting older. You can't hit those notes anymore, you know.
The high ones?
The Robert Plant syndrome there. You just can't. Can't do that.
So what do they do? They got to step it down. What do they call that when they step it down?
Modulate down. You're modulating.
No, there's an actual musical phrase for it. What they're doing with the chords or
Pitch
whatever.
down.
The way pitch down. How they do it. Yeah. So you sing it in a different
Autumn
way.
disagrees.
Well, Dr. Joe, I'm sorry, but we've had a debate break out here.
Okay. I'll leave. I'll come back later, yeah.
What do we have for Dr. Joe?
Well, from the Department of Debunkery, a.k.a. the University of Alabama, Birmingham, new research has found that the 5-second rule is mythology. You cannot pick up food and eat it after it's been sitting on the ground for 5 seconds.
No,
Bacteria,
or within 5 seconds. Let's remember
Right.
what this is. The idea is that you can pick it up and eat it if it's only been 5 seconds.
Right.
That's what people,
the 5-second rule.
People used to believe that,
Right.
but that has been debunked. It is not true. Yeah,
Who cares? But, I mean,
eat it.
Depends on how clean the floor
eat it.
is.
Makes you stronger.
Yeah.
Doesn't it depend on how clean the floor is?
You got to give your immune system
I mean,
something to do.
if I drop a piece of pork chop on the bathroom floor in a public restroom, I'm not going to eat that. Right?
I want to know why.
Yeah.
Why are you taking a pork chop into a
What are you,
public
like,
restaurant?
eating it like a mall
that's
food
none of your
court?
business.
You're right. That's your story.
All right?
That's your journey.
But if I'm in my kitchen and I drop a piece on the floor, I'm going to pick it up and probably eat it.
Yeah, I don't think it just seems. But it's based on what the floor is and what's on the floor. That's the most important thing.
Just keep your house
I
clean.
work at the slaughterhouse.
For instance,
and I drop my sandwich.
For instance, if let's say you're over at Gene Hackman's house and something falls on the floor,
I'm not eating
you don't
anything
wanna
else.
be
That
eating
was a
it.
hoarder house.
Yeah.
You know how many stories I've read about that where they just don't go what is really going on here, that it's a hoarder situation, and they tell the whole story of the timeline, and she called and they're trying to pin it on COVID, or she thought she had COVID. Meanwhile, you see a picture of the house.
Yeah,
and
the
it's
counters
just,
everywhere,
the
the
stuff. It looks like
floors, yeah.
an episode of Hoarders.
She ate something off the floor.
Well,
That's
maybe
what it
he
was.
was
That's what started it. There it is.
Rat poop.
Man,
Yeah, rats in the outhouse, in the back
talking about
houses.
Gene Hackman here.
He wasn't there anymore.
Yeah.
And it must have been very difficult for her to have to take care of all of that.
He was alive for 7 days after she died.
Yeah, but he didn't know.
I know.
Yeah.
But it's not true. Is it true or isn't it true that one of the dogs started to use him as a meal?
Oh, they said the dog was alive, looking over her body. They
I
didn't-
know.
okay.
But I heard somewhere
I
somebody
don't
said
know.
that there was a
Yeah.
kind of a Mary Provost.
That's probably why the
situation.
family doesn't want the autopsy photos released.
Well, I don't want to see him.
Nobody. Well, some people do.
Well, people are.
We deserve to know.
Do we?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we have a right.
I nearly threw up when I saw the kitchen.
Yeah, right.
I don't want to see the body. How does that? What kind of? They isolated themselves. Obviously, is what happened, and maybe there was some paranoia there. She was a very accomplished pianist.
Yeah, but there was a caretaker or something that said, "Oh, this is Gene Hackman's house," to the cops or whatever, and they said, "Oh, let's keep this on the down low." Yeah.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, if you have Gene Hackman, who's made a lot of money in his life, he's a beloved actor, and if he's in his 90s and there's Alzheimer-like things going on, why don't we have
a caretaker?
A caretaker that lives in the house, that's
Right.
there all the time. I don't. So they were. Maybe there was some kind of paranoia building up about the outside
Well, maybe the
world.
wife, because she was lucid,
Right.
right? Maybe she was like, no, I don't want these people in my house because I'm embarrassed because I have a hoarding problem.
Well, that's possible.
Possible, too.
That's possible.
Yeah.
And then the family, like kids or whatever, like they try to intervene with people like this, and there's just no
I need this napkin.
fruit on that tree. Like you can't stop people from doing that.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I just don't. It just, man. I wonder how I'm gonna end up. I mean, that happened to Gene Hackman.
Don't think
One
about
of the
it.
greatest actors of all time.
You won't know.
Yeah, but you know your own personal life. You didn't know his personal life.
Is your wife just
It's
going to
not
leave
like-
you?
But he was married to. She's classy. I mean, she was a pianist. She was a.
I know, but you
much
didn't know.
younger.
We don't
I
know
don't think of
anything
her as a
about it.
hoarder. I mean, I think
We
of
don't
hoarders.
know.
I think of
Yeah, we don't
hoarders
know.
as.
That's what I'm saying.
Aren't they all white trash?
No, not all.
No.
We don't know about
they
the
were
other
all.
ones.
I thought
No,
hoarder.
they have to have money in order to hoard.
No, you
No, you
don't.
don't.
Yeah.
No, you just have to have stuff.
No.
You can hoard
Because because it depends on what you hoard.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair.
The Learning Channel
could be
doesn't go to
hoarding my
those.
urine.
Kitten skeletons in your
You can
garage.
hoard
I've
them.
seen that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, Autumn, I'm hoarding that. That's for me.
You're hoarding my urine?
Yes, I am.
I was wondering where it keeps going.
Nah, I've got a little system. I know a guy who knows a guy who knows you.
Who's a plumber?
What do you think happens when the dog barks?
Exactly. It lets me know that the new shipment has arrived.
That's right.
It's a little code between me and the dog. All right. So, anything else to say about this story before we move
No,
on?
don't drop things on the floor. Don't eat them off the floor is the bottom line.
Okay, but if you do drop something on the floor,
And your house is clean. I mean, I
pick
steam
it
mop
up.
my floors. No, I could eat a
Oh,
flex
you're
there,
that guy.
Dr. Joe.
What are you, that guy, huh?
Mr. Clean over
Oh,
here.
I
Steam
very
mopping.
clean house.
Yeah, but, see, now I want to know more. Like, are
Okay.
you in your underwear? What's going on?
I'm
You're steam
not
mopping. you're-
naked and I'm dancing to Barry Manilow. And
When I worked at a fast food burger chain in my teens, and you dropped it on the floor, obviously you're supposed to put it in the waste bucket. Or put it on the grill and sear that dirt off
That's
and
all,
put it back
yeah.
on the burger.
That's right. The customer doesn't
Recycle-
know.
yeah.
Right, they do now.
keeps your overhead low.
they don't
Absolutely.
That's why you moved up into management.
That's right.
Because you know how to do.
That's right. You know the
take
secrets.
lemons and make lemonade.
That's right.
I'll tell you a story about Giant
Dropped all the
Stadium
lemons on the
someday. Yeah,
floor.
when I worked at Giant Stadium, the workers would go out and collect up the cups
Yeah.
and rinse them out and refill them and sell them again and put the money in their pockets.
no.
Yes.
Smart.
Hell yeah.
I was a
Smart.
supervisor.
That's entrepreneurship.
There you go. It's entrepreneurship.
That's a reason
right?
not to be a
He was-
Giants fan right there.
He was. That's his job. He once found himself in an elevator with Mick Jagger.
I did. That's right. That's my Mick Jagger
and what
story.
did Mick Jagger say to you?
He said, "Quite a ruckus we're having out there, eh?"
And do you think like that's his go-to line to every
Oh, yeah,
stranger
everybody,
probably
yeah.
at a show?
Creep. He remembers. He waved to me when I was at the last concert. I was up in the.
Oh,
it's-
my elevator mate.
That's right. There you go. He waved.
that guy.
Remember that ruckus?
Remember? Yeah, hey, mate.
Oh, that was such a ruckus. I've never seen a ruckus like that since. I always remember you because that was quite a ruckus out there.
That's right.
Nick hasn't stopped talking about it for 40 years.
You didn't see Keith.
Now, Eric, you have been struggling with your breakfast. It's been getting boring, Dr. Joe.
Yes.
He
Yeah,
doesn't like his
uh-huh.
breakfast, but apparently if you add walnuts to your breakfast, it boosts your brain function
Yes.
all day. Do you agree with this?
I
Dr.
agree.
Joe?
100%.
Walnuts
Walnuts.
look like
Walnuts.
brains.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're
They look-
supposed to eat them.
That's right.
Coincidence?
Figs look like testicles, so what should we eat there?
Keep
Hey,
going.
let's not get into my private life. Alex Williams has better news on 75 in Marietta.
Good news and bad news, Eric. We just cleared up the crash. 75 northbound, Highway 5, exit 267. All lanes back open there, but it's still slow back to Delk Road. That will get better. Just found a new crash in Marietta. 75 southbound, right around Delk Road, exit 260. That's in 2 left lanes. You can use Highway 41, Cobb Parkway as an alternate. And we're still trying to clear up this crash on the outer loop that's been in the left lane. 285 southbound, Hollowell Parkway, exit 12. Keeping you on the brake pedal back up into Smyrna Bindings. How are things looking through downtown, Kobe Dawkins?
Well, downtown rides remain slow. 75-85 southbound brake lights pack in before the downtown merge getting to I-20. And northbound rides, those delays start just past Langford Parkway getting to Peachtree Street. And this report is sponsored by the Georgia Lottery. Tonight's Powerball jackpot is $113 million. Powerball players can win millions playing in-store or online at galottery.com. Only from the Georgia Lottery. From the Cool Ray Carrier Traffic Center, Triple Team Traffic, 95.5 WSB.
On air,
Online,
on the app,
where you get your news.
is where you'll win.
Are you serious? Download the WSB radio app now and maybe win $1,000.
OMG! The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz.
5 words, 5 times a day, every weekday.
Oh
my God, you just made my day! Just enter the word at WSBradio.com or on the WSB radio app. The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz
Begins Monday, April 21st on 95.5 WSB.
Hope. It's more than a word. It's a breakthrough in the making. At City of Hope, we're pushing the boundaries of science, targeting cancer at the molecular level, with teams of experts working together to personalize a treatment plan right down to your DNA with unprecedented speed, making every second count, with appointments in as little as 24 hours. City of Hope, advancing cancer care at life-saving speed. Learn more at cityofhope.org.
I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. When garage doors break, they usually don't break all at once. They don't just up and die. They die slowly. Garage doors complain a bit before they crap out, squeaking and sticking and shaking and grinding. They go down part way and then stop and go back up for no reason. But they hardly ever just end up dead with no symptoms and no long goodbye. If you ignored the signs, that dead door is on you. At Mo Better Garage, we make that way mo better. Our 19-point seasonal maintenance check makes sure everything's healthy. Oil the chain, check the rollers, realign the tracks, talk to you about how things are going, and look into any symptoms that might have you worried. Catch problems early, and your garage doors should be around to play with the grandkids and talk about the old days when all this was just farmland.
Mo Better Garage, we make it way more better.
MoBetterGarage.com.
This was my boyhood dream. Game day in the NFL. And that dream came true for me. Everything was going great for 7 years until one wrong hit put an end to everything. Hi, this is former NFL tight end Mitch Lyons. I was blindsided that fateful Sunday in the NFL, and that injury flipped all my plans upside down. Today, I see how retirement plans can be blindsided. Sudden, unexpected setbacks can jeopardize the goals and dreams you've saved for. That's why at MitchLyonsWealth.com, we show you winning strategies for protecting your savings, maximizing growth, and avoiding common retirement fumbles. MitchLyonsWealth.com helps take your retirement plans into the end zone for a strong finish. Give us a call at 888-471-3896. That's 888-471-3896. MitchLyonsWealth.com, your best game plan to protect, grow, and win retirement.
Pro athletes and attorneys count on George Stein, the DUI lawyer. You can too. GeorgeStein.com.
Is painting the house on your project list? Make this the last time you paint with Rhino Shield, backed by a 25-year warranty.
Don't paint, don't vinyl, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-478-6688. That's 1-800-478-6688. Or go to SelectQuote.com. 1-800-478-6688. That's 1-800-478-6688.
SelectQuote. We shop. You save. Full details on example policies at selectquote.com/commercials.
Crimson
Mike's
and Clover
on.
there?
Oh, that little soup.
Oh, there was Crimson and Clover there. Okay.
We're almost done, Dr. Joe.
I know it's
Why don't
sad.
you tell the folks how they can get more Dr.
There's
Joe?
plenty of Dr. Joe out there. Sunday nights, 8 to 10.
Not enough.
There's never enough. 8 to 10 right here on WSB. I'd love to take your health questions. If you have any questions, email me through my website, drjoe.com, drjoe.com. Follow me on social media. We have coming toward 1 million followers here. On
Really?
social. Yeah, about 800,000 right now.
Yeah.
I'm an influencer, man.
You certainly are.
Yeah,
Hopefully for good.
I should hit
Not
myself
like
with a
that
hammer.
guy.
Yeah,
no.
I saw you hitting with yourself with a hammer in the last break.
Ow.
That's Von Hessler doctrine as opposed to people hitting themselves in the face with a hammer.
Yes, that's official.
I want a PSA. That's kids.
That's it. Nope.
Kids, I'm Eric Von Hessler from the Von Hessler doctrine, and I just want to say,
You're scary.
Mom, he's the mean man.
Just hang with me here. I'm going to help you out.
Okay.
I'm here to say, what's your name?
Billy.
Billy? Never, ever, ever hit yourself in the face with a hammer.
How about my mommy?
No, not yourself, not others. Not others.
Nobody?
Nobody. Don't hit
Okay.
nobody. I think, all right?
What if he
Cool.
doesn't get his juice?
His juice?
Yeah, what if he doesn't get his juice?
What's his
Box.
juice? His
If he doesn't get his juice box, yeah, then he can't hit.
Well, then I'll be patient and not hit anybody.
Exactly. That's a good boy.
You changed a life today, Eric.
Yes.
What a good
Can
man
I watch
you are.
That's what it's all
Slippy
about.
now?
Can you watch one?
Blippi.
I don't care what you want. Just stop talking and leave me
Okay,
alone.
Blippy time.
Go, here's a screen. Just go over there.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, screen will raise you till you're 18.
I'm tired of being a parent today. Just go stare at that
Get away.
screen. Shut up and leave me alone. My wife was with some friends, and then their friends' kids. They have kids now, and so they're kind of like millennial parents. And my wife was like, they're like, oh, we can't handle this. They have a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old, and they're just like completely freaked out, like we can't handle this.
What do we do? What do we do?
They won't shut up. They won't. It's like, well, people have been doing this since the beginning of humanity.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
The first thing you have to do is accept the fact that your life has changed and it is now this.
Yes.
That's the first thing you have to do.
That's a very jerky thing to say to the Americans.
Why? It's
I
true.
didn't say it
you
to
didn't
him.
say it. Okay.
I didn't
all right.
say I wasn't
was gonna
there.
say, okay, all right.
I wasn't there, but
It's the most logical thing to say.
First thing you do, you look at a calendar, you go, okay, I'm 37.
Right.
I'm not 27, I'm not 17. It's about acceptance and recognizing that this is my life.
Only
Especially
priority.
the first 5 years. You're
Yes.
not going to get away from it.
That's why they have mom.
Stop fighting it. No, Mom was like frazzled. Mom!
That tracks.
It tracks. Yeah, this one lost her mind for a while as a young mother.
It's coming around now
We
again.
all
She's
do.
coming back. She's coming back.
Oh, I'm back, baby.
Oh, yeah. I always predicted
Snapback.
you were going to have a great second half, and you are. My
Everybody
dear.
deserves a great second half.
Nah, that's not true. Harvey
the
Weinstein,
Patriots.
for instance.
Right.
I don't think he
No.
deserves a great second half.
Why not?
That's true.
Huh?
I guess he did have one for a while, right? So
What did you say, George?
for
Candace
himself.
Owens is doing this whole report where she's talking to him in jail, and he's getting the story, and it's not
Oh,
quite
who?
what it was told to us.
Who is this? Who is doing that?
Harvey Weinstein. Candace Owens is doing it with Harvey Weinstein.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
There's more influencers.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Is she asking tough questions, or is she just leaving the mic open and letting him create his own narrative?
I think there's a little bit of that going on, but it is
See-
interesting that somebody's talking to him in jail.
Right, but if you're going to talk to him in jail, you need to ask tough questions,
So
not
what
go.
was gangrene like?
What's his brother doing now? Is he still in
Probably
Hollywood?
in hiding, I would be.
Yeah. I mean, he had to know the
Change
whole
your
time.
name.
Why do you have your hand up?
I do have some breaking news to end the show on.
Is it?
It's important.
All right.
We need to know about this, especially Dr. Joe, since he's caught up with all the music scene.
I'm ready.
Morgan Wallen has confirmed that Tate McRae is featured on his new album in a track titled "What I Want."
What I would say is, oh, that guy I don't care about, and who?
Tate McRae.
I don't know.
And he wants what now?
And I should care why?
What I want.
Tate McRae.
Hey, man.
Right. Tate McCraw.
People love Morgan Wallen. Who am I to?
People are speculating they might be seeing each
Lovers?
other.
They might be pregnant.
Aw, can't
Yeah.
wait for the reveal.
Congratulations.
I know Dr. Joe's a big Tate McRae fan.
I'll take notice
yes.
when he shows up on the Righteous Gemstones. All right. That music's telling us two things. Shut the hell up. Get the hell out. And we do what we're told around here. Shelley Winter has a great radio show coming up for you. We'll be back tomorrow, 3 p.m. You're all invited to join us. Until then, continue on the journey. Don't piss off the genie.